All right, guys, we are back. Fedor Emelianenko, Frank Mir. Been a long time fans have waited for this fight. Of course, these guys not in their prime anymore. We wanted to see this fight 10, 15 years ago. We're getting it, though. It is what it is, and we're getting it now. So, I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited. And we get Neiman Gracie. We get a couple other great fights here. So, I don't expect any disappointment tonight in this card for sure. Jay Glazer and Chael Sonnen here. I like Chael Sonnen as a commentator too. I like his podcast. Even if he can come off as a little self-righteous sometimes. Jay Glazer, great commentator, a little intense. But I'm one to talk, right? Chael definitely, starting to show his age there, starting to look in his 40s, which he is in his 40s. So, is what it is. So we got 14 people in here. I'm not seeing any likes yet. I'm not sure if this is updated on my side here. What's going on, guys? Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is going to be a great night of fights. I really believe that 19 people in here now. Yeah, this is what everybody's been waiting for. And who's everybody got? Fedor or Frank Mir? That's what I gotta ask. Mars, long time no see. Already over 20 watching. Yeah. There's a lot of anticipation for this fight. Like I said, this is. Fight fans, we're impatient. Emmanuel Sanchez versus Sam Cecilia fighting at 145 pounds tonight. That's going to be great. Michael Brown, what's up? You going to show the fight or commentate? Fedor all the way. I am commentating. How's it going, Chris Champagne? Frank. TraxFan32 says Mir. I'm going to pick Fedor on this one, although Mir looks very muscular. He hasn't fought in 2 years. Almost 2 years since he got knocked out by Mark Hunt. Michael Brown is right on. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're still sticking around since I'm commentating. Yeah, I can't show the fight, man. I'd lose my channel. That's just the way it goes. Let's get the Brewski ready. Brewski is here. Rafael Lovato Jr., as we were talking about earlier. Tough matchup against Gerald Harris. Lovato 7-0. Gerald Harris 25-5. Neiman Gracie at 7-0. Is fighting Javier Torres at 10-3. Then you got the pro debut of Dylan Dennis versus Kyle Walker, who is 2-4, but he's got 6 fights going in against somebody with their pro debut. So that seems logical. Dylan Dennis, of course, guy has a jiu-jitsu game that is off the charts. This is his MMA debut. But he's been lighting it up, submitting the best in the world for years now. This guy's definitely got one of the top jiu-jitsu games in the world. Definitely, even though his opponent's got 6 fights, I expect him to win his pro debut. I expect him to get this guy into deep waters and submit him probably in the first or second round. Chael Sonnen says, we're going out like a gangster. The gangster from West Lynn, Chael Sonnen. Gotta love the commentating. Who are the main fights tonight, Mike? Khabib says over in the thing. We got a lot of them. We got Lovato Jr., we got Neiman Gracie, we got Frank Mir versus Fedor Emelianenko, the last Emperor. Well, love you too, Lauren. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Seven? Mr. Joey Stockdale. Fedor needs this one. Yeah, Fedor definitely needs a win for sure. These guys both need a win. Believe it or not, even though it's been 2 years since Frank Mir fought, since he was knocked out by Mark Hunt, the UFC just released him. I think they just released him in time to be available for this Grand Prix. And I'm kind of surprised they didn't hold him to stop him from coming in. What's up, guys? The spirit of Bruce Lee is in the house. So it's got to be a great fight. If you hear it says Fedor win. I agree, sir. I think Fedor's too fast. I think his striking is going to be too much. I think he's fresher right now, even though he's a little older. He's been training with all these young guys. And I was watching some of the behind the scenes with these guys training, and his reflexes look as good as they have in a long time, honestly. His speed on his punches looked great, and he looks, in pretty good shape. In a perfect world, Dylan Dennis will be rocked, dropped, and knocked out tonight. You're not a big Dylan Dennis fan, apparently, huh, Mario? Brother, put a mirror behind you so we can watch. Find a stream, man. It's on Paramount. I'm sure you can find something out there somewhere. Threw a little on Fedor, says Seven. It's personally hard for me to see my old favorite Fedor get slept over and over. Yeah, I agree, and I got nothing against Frank Mir. I'm not saying that I don't like Frank Mir. How's it going, Patty? Thanks for tuning in. Live, exactly. What time did the fight start? We're saying the first fight is starting right after this commercial break, man. So you turned in right at the right time. And we got the debut of Dylan Dennis, and he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wizard. And that's putting it lightly. This guy's been submitting the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the last couple years. I mean, he has been on fire. Yeah, Joe, what's up, ACS? Yeah, Joe Rogan doesn't do Bellator. So I'll have to be your Joe Rogan tonight. I know I got a little more hair and a little bigger belly and not near as ripped as him, but I'll do my best. We'll see how it's going. I do have the start of a receding hairline I'm seeing on the camera there. So, 10 years from now, maybe I will be shaving my head. Get myself some TRT, and I've had the Alpha Brain he talks about. It's great. Works awesome. I'm actually out right now, though. I need to get some of that. It's probably, Dylan Dennis versus Kyle Walker at 175 pounds. This is the first fight. I said Dylan Dennis, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is second to just about none in the game right now. I appreciate that, Mr. Joy Stockdale. Says, you are the future. Thank you very much. Bruce says, do you do martial arts? Where are you from? I am from here in Washington. I'm actually from a town in little town called Walla Walla, Washington. Yeah, it's not just from Looney Tunes. It's an actual real town. And I did do judo for about 3 years. I did some boxing for a couple years. Way back in the year of 1997, I was the 8th ranked 156-pound judokan in the country. That was the highest rank I ever held. Onions, yes, Mr. Joy Stockdale, we are definitely known for onions. Onions and the state penitentiary. And wine, my wife says. Wasn't so much wine when I was growing up. Dylan Davis, 4-time grappling world champion, 2-time BJJ, and 2-time no-gi tournament champion. I was telling you guys, this guy is a freaking wizard. I have a feeling we're about to see some jiu-jitsu on a level. This guy might be better on the ground than Demian Maia. Obviously, he's going to have to, know a little bit more before this gets to the ground. Dylan Danis, just 24 years old, 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, 72-inch reach. Kyle Walker's opponent, just 5'9", 174 pounds, 69.5-inch reach. So it's going to be a 3.5-inch reach for Dylan Danis. Tonight, here we go. What's up? Spearman Need Studios, what's up? Where can I watch live? Just Google Bellator 198, Fedor versus Frank Mir stream. Somebody out there might have a spot for you. I'm watching it. I have DirecTV now, so I'm watching on my computer stream on that. If you're quick, you can probably get a 30-day trial from YouTube TV. I know you can get a 30-day free trial, I'm pretty sure, from Sling. There's a couple places out there. Can we watch the fights from your TV while you keep giving us all this interesting info? Yeah, the YouTube kind of tends to frown on that one, like they take my channel. 9-time IBJJF champion, World No-Gi champion. He's the current World No-Gi champion, actually, Dylan Danis. Like I said, this guy is a grappling stud. We'll see if he can turn his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expertise into an MMA career. Fujura says, Marcelo Gracie student, I can't wait to see. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this guy's pro debut for a while myself, and here we go. Jab out of the... for Marcelo, and he goes for the takedown immediately, does the BJJ expert. Danis. Walker, of course, wants to keep this on his feet. Nice straight left for Walker. And Danis throwing that jab. Oh, big left hand landed for Walker right there. Danis is going to have to figure out how to get inside of these strikes. This is a different game than when Royce Gracie came in years back and guys didn't know how to, to deal with the takedowns and the jiu-jitsu and things. Nice body kick from Danis. Another leg kick. Obviously, he's had some other MMA training. But you need a lot more nowadays than just the specialty like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, and he goes for a takedown there. Tries to drive to the ground. Oh, he's got on the inside now, and he pulls guard. So 3:50 left in the first round, and Walker is now in Danis' guard. And now we're going to see the world of one of the best Jiu-Jitsu artists on the planet right now. And he's already turning. Nice defense by Walker. He's got a leg, though. He's got a leg. He might have a heel hook. He's got that heel. 3:25 left. Oh, he's raking on that heel, and that's a tap. Just like that, Dylan Danis goes into the record book. Heel hook just a minute and a half into the first round. He's going over making sure his opponent's okay. And he's not getting up right away. I hope that there's not some kind of serious leg injury to Walker. Yeah, I started actually going for a leg bar. And then he switched it over into that heel hook. It looked like Walker was out of like he was out of danger, and he was almost up. And that's how good Danis is, as he was just able to grab his foot and bring him in, and as soon as he got a hold of him and that leg, that was the beginning of the end. Seven says, I'm expecting a lot, minus 1,100 favorite. Damn. I didn't realize it was that big of a favorite. No problem, buddy. Forgot about how strict YouTube is. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Well, thanks for tuning in, Juan. No problem. Dylan Janis keeps his head on center line. Damn. Dylan Janis has some impressive submission skills, says Jason. Mario says, I guess the world isn't perfect. I know Mario was hoping he'd lose. Not very many guys can pull that off. No, that's for sure. Cap says Joe Rogan is doing a fight companion. Joe Rogan's doing a fight companion for belt. Shh. Trying to lose me fans here, Cap. And they're advertising on that note for Solo, May 25th, new Star Wars movie for all you Star Wars fans. Coming into the theater, May 25th. My wife says it should come out on May 4th, but it's not. It's coming out on May 25th. So, yeah. I have a friend, actually, who's a huge Star Wars fan, though, actually getting married next month on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. But so, good luck to him and his marriage. That's a hell of a woman to agree with that, because she's tied to that for life. I think she's just as much a nerd as he is. My wife says I'd have done it. She's a big nerd, too. Actually, we got married on the 4th of July. So being in retail, it was always nice to have a good excuse to be off and be like, other people would want 4th of July. I'd be like, oh, that is my anniversary. You'd be like, oh, well, we can't make you work on your anniversary. You can tell Dylan has a lot of work to do, says Jason. He definitely does in the standing game. And, I mean, he got popped a couple times in there from a guy that was 2-4. Yep, Jason, his stand-up sucks. It was his first MMA fight, though. I mean, as far as MMA, he's at CM Punk level as far as standing, quite honestly. But RS says Dylan Danis is a frickin' anaconda on the floor. He holds the leg very well. Yeah, that's the thing, is if this guy gets a hold of people on the ground, it's over. His stand-up doesn't suck. It's amateurish, as Jay said. It's got a long ways to go. But he's never had an MMA fight before. Or at least a professional MMA fight. I missed to see if he had any amateur fights. Kev says that's the same thing. Yep, 1 minute, 38 seconds. And Big John McCarthy. It's pretty cool to see Big John McCarthy now as a commentator, ring interviewer. After seeing him as a referee for so long. Sucks is below amateur levels, Jason. This is why I think BJJ Masters should work on the rubber guard. Dylan couldn't take this guy down. He had to pull guard. Yep. And that's what he did. But you can see on the replay there, Walker, he was out. He thought he was out of the gates. He was standing up. I mean, he was on his feet, and Danis just got a hold of that foot, brought him down. Some shit talking from Dylan Danis, though. That doesn't seem like the most professional thing to do after your first fight. Dylan Danis, he just said, I built up this card, now all the other bums on this can call me out. He might want to work on his striking before he gets too cocky. Starting to get a little bit of an idea why Mario's not such a big fan of him already, but he's signing autographs right there, signs the autograph of a kid there in the crowd and some other guy. So that's awesome. I love when guys do that. I know it meant the world to young David. Actually, we went to our first UFC. Carlos Condit wasn't fighting that night. It was actually, I believe, it was the weigh-in. Hey, David. Yeah, it was the weigh-in. My wife just reminded me. Carlos Condit stood there for probably an hour, hour and a half, signing autographs. He signed young David's autograph, and yeah, I remember it was the weigh-in now because we were just a few seconds away from meeting Anderson Silva. I think I might have told this story before, but we actually were leaving, and they didn't announce anything, and all of a sudden we see this big crowd, and this is in Seattle. The first UFC in Seattle was fight night. Was Rumble Johnson versus Dan Hardy, and then Minotauro Nogueira versus Phil Davis. And we're at the weigh-in, and people are starting to leave, and all of a sudden we hear all this noise, and we see this big crowd, and I see this bald head from a distance, and I knew immediately. And, I mean, he was the most recognizable MMA fighter on the earth, and this is absolute prime. Oh, there's the champion, Anderson Silva. And we start to run over there to get an autograph. And young David walks up there, and the person in front of him, I believe, got an autograph. And Anderson Silva's looking at him and turns away. We were literally the people right before him. So MMA record for Fedor 36-5. Frank Mir 18-11. Cap says, I don't care. I said his stand-up sucks, which it does. I hate to say it, but a guy with the skills of Dillon Danis won't go far. He's obviously got a lot of work to do as far as the MMA game. And I don't like his attitude. I didn't like the style of smack talking afterwards. I thought that was very unprofessional, saying that he built the event. I'm not sure what he means by that. How many of you guys turned in to watch Dillon Danis tonight? You can see he's not in the description. And we have how many people in this room right now? You know, we got 36 people watching, and Dillon Danis' name is not in the description. So yeah, he said it during the interview. He said, I built this event. If you listen to it, and he says, and now the rest of these bums can call me out. And I came into this a Dillon Danis fan. I've been looking forward to seeing him fight at least. I'd seen a little bit in jiu-jitsu. I knew he was a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. BJJ guys need to work on pulling guard and their guard. BJJ guys won't take nobody. I won't take down nobody. Well, maybe they need to work some wrestling and some striking and actually learn some MMA to go with their BJJ. Yes, I agree with you on the rubber guard. But even Royce Gracie developed a pretty decent takedown. I mean, it wasn't great, but especially for the time, Mike, it's all an act. I'm sure Dillon is a nice guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't like guys that talk smack for no reason. I'm not saying I'm not a fan. 18-11, 5 knockouts, 9 submissions, Frank Mir. So only 4 of his wins have went to decision.
It was difficult for you. You had to contemplate whether or not you were going to return to fighting. And you said, is it because of Fedor and this fight finally coming to fruition, being a part of the heavyweight Grand Prix?
They're interviewing Frank Mir kind of in the back there.
Motivator to get back in the cage?
It was definitely a motivator that helped. But I wanted to be able to sort of compete. Once I retired.
Saying it was a big motivator to get back into the cage, obviously, being able to fight Fedor. That is the reason why Dennis and Bellator are not UFC, says Jason. Oh, he's just not at the level for UFC at all either. He would definitely need to work on all the holes in his game, which there are a lot of. Who here doesn't think Mir is on roids again? He did look very muscular at the weigh-ins. And while they were talking, I'm trying to look at his complexion to see if I can see the acne. which is kind of a telltale sign to see if,
Analyze the situation.
you know, to be able to see if guys are back on roids. Somebody, might have been URS, I can't remember, made a good point the other day. You never hear about Bellator guys getting popped. Honestly, I don't remember any of them getting popped. Patrick says you just don't like him. I don't have a problem with Dylan Dennis. Like I said, I was looking forward to watching him. Are you going to watch this or no, Thomas? Now there's 3 guys out of SBG, Jim, and Bellator. Yep, did Javier Torres fight yet? No, he has not. There's only been the one fight. McGregor would knock him out in 13 seconds, says Jason. Mir is jacked. Yeah, he's definitely jacked. Neiman Gracie versus Javier Torres is next. Andrew Vavensky, I know you're looking forward to watching Javier Torres, but he's got his work cut out tonight at 170. Neiman Gracie, he's 7-0. 6 of his wins are by submission, and I will tell you, I've seen him fight, and he has a much more complete game than Dennis does. RS says Bellator doesn't drug test. Wow, I hadn't heard that. That's interesting because I know when Chael Sonnen signed his contract with Bellator, at least this is what they said publicly. They said that there was a penalty if he were to test positive, that he would owe them, I believe it was $1 million. It might have been $2 million. I can't remember. It was a lot of money, though. Jason says, Mir can break any part of your body if he gets a hold of it. He broke 2 fighters' arms in the UFC that I know of, Silva and Nogueira. That Nogueira submission was especially impressive. Minotauro Nogueira, of course, you know, one of the very top heavyweight submission artists ever. There's 3 guys, and then there's everybody else. There's the 2 Nogueiras. There's his brother, but his little nog mostly fought a light heavyweight. So I'm gonna say Minotauro at heavyweight. The 3 guys. There's Frank Mir, there's Fabricio Verdum, and there's Nogueira, and nobody else is even close. RS says, I love Mir. He is a very nice and funny guy, but his cheating with drugs makes me think twice. I honestly don't remember him getting popped in the UFC. It sounds like from people's comments on here that maybe I'm forgetting something or maybe I missed something. I don't remember him failing drug tests in the UFC, though. Where has Venom Page been? Venom Page is fighting at UFC 200. I can get you his opponent here in a minute. Mr. Joy Stockdale says, this is so cool. Technology has allowed me to blindly listen to a talented but in need of a calm commentator like the old radio days. Well, thank you, I think. The Nogueira submission was the fastest comeback I ever seen. Mir was rocked, and Nogueira had the guillotine in one moment, and then 5 seconds later, Mir was breaking his arm. Yeah, that was incredible. Mir on the juice is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, if he's on juice, that kind of changes everything. And I know I knew the opponent of Michael Venom Page. I will get it for you here in just a second. I know. Oh, wow. Report 5 hours ago. FBI shadowing Fedor Emelianenko at Bellator 198. The Russian heavyweight legend is being shadowed by the FBI ahead of his... all the situations last Emperor could have expected in Chicago was weak for Bellator 198, and interaction with the FBI was not one of them. I just seen this, so this is from BloodyElbow.com, so I'm reading this for the first time. According to the Telegraph, the FBI showed up at Fedor Emelianenko's hotel on Wednesday, April 25th, where they requested to see the legendary fighter and knocked on his room. The same report suggests that the FBI have been moving back and forth from the hotel over the past few days. While the FBI's reported presence during fight week is unusual, it has not appeared to involve any suggestion of any wrongdoing on Fedor's part. It is unclear why the FBI is present or why they are interested in speaking to the former Pride Heavyweight Champion. Though it remains unclear why the FBI would be interested in Fedor, it should be noted that the longtime fighter has previously had working relationships with Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump. Wow, here we go back to Putin and Trump. However, while the Telegraph article claims that Fedor has friends who are fans in very high places, referring to Trump and Putin, this is not the case. While Fedor did maintain a working relationship with both presidents, at one point or another during his career, he was never friends with the politicians. Alright, sorry, I kind of went down a little rabbit hole there, but that headline caught my attention, and I had to see what was going on there. Javier Torres coming down to the cage right now. And like I said, I'm going to get you that opponent for Michael Page, because I could not remember who it is he's fighting. It's, I believe, Bellator 200, which is a great card. Champion Rafael Carvalho defending his middleweight world championship against Gegard Mousasi in Mousasi's Bellator debut. Then you got Mirko Cro Cop versus Roy Nelson, which they just announced is going to be the first alternate bout for the heavyweight tournament. So whoever wins that will be an alternate in case anybody gets hurt. So Roy Nelson could actually get a second shot at it. Or we could see an older Mirko Cro Cop. You're going to have Phil Davis versus Linton Vassell. Great matchup there. And then Michael Page is actually fighting David Rickles. Welterweight feature fight. Well, David Rickles, of course, former tournament winner in Bellator and former welterweight champion, I believe. Aaron Chambers versus Ash Griffith, rounding off Bellator 200. But that's going to be a hell of a card. I think I was saying earlier, I think that will be the best card probably, or at least it's the best card on paper Bellator's had. Tonight is one of them, though. Mir failed drug tests in UFC and had 2-year suspension. That's why he moved to Bellator. Okay, I kind of didn't hear anything about him after the Mark Hunt knockout. Excuse me. I want to see a Brazil versus Russia card in the UFC. Damn. Fedor is in Russian politics, says RS. Matt, any edibles? Not tonight, man. Not tonight. I will tell you, it is me being lucid does not last very long when that happens. I said I've done it a few times. Very low tolerance. I'll stick with the beer. RS, hey, doesn't Mir look like he is from a gypsy family? No disrespect, just the looks. He's kind of got that hair. He's kind of got that. He's always kind of gave me a little bit of a used car salesman vibe. And not a good used car salesman for whatever reason. And I like the guy. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like he'd be a cool guy to hang out with and have a beer. For some reason, he also just kind of gives me that vibe like if you got in a deal with him, he'd screw you over in a second. Oh, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm getting hungry. I was just watching these Burger King commercials with the sourdough bacon cheeseburger, and God, that has nothing to do with MMA, so you know I'm hungry. But I'll be waiting until after the events to eat something. You can tell I'm not starving to death. So, wife's going to be making something here in a few minutes to have afterwards. All right, here we go. Javier Torres, Neiman Gracie. This should be a great fight. Javier Torres, 6 of 10 wins by KO or submission, 4 in the first round, 1 knockout, 3 subs. How did Mir pass the drug test? Matt, I haven't verified this. RS was just saying that Bellator doesn't drug test. I'm pretty curious about that. As one of my favorite comedians, Norm Macdonald says, "Let me check that on my magic phone." Bellator's drug testing policy versus the UFC. Why don't Bellator fighters fail test? I'm not really seeing anything legit. I'm just seeing kind of Chael Sonnen reveals $500,000 fine if he fails a drug test. So I was wrong. It's $500,000. And here we go. First round, Neiman Gracie, Javier Torres. And we'll jump out of the rabbit hole for a minute. Gracie goes for the kick to the body. Misses on Torres. Torres looks very slim tonight. Not a bad kind of slim. He looks very cut. Nice kick to the body there for Gracie. Gracie honestly looks a little soft. Nice leg kick there from Javier. Oh, nice left hand. Nice left hook there lands for Javier Torres off Gracie's missed body kick there. Gracie doesn't look fat. He just doesn't look toned. He honestly just doesn't really look like to have an athlete's body. Nephew of Renzo Gracie, one of the absolute legends of MMA, of course. Renzo, one of the best ever. Oh, nice shot at a left hook there over the top from Neiman Gracie, misses. Oh, and Gracie's got a leg, and he's on top, and he's in the guard of Javier Torres. Javier Torres, very capable jiu-jitsu game. So he's going to make Gracie work for any submissions. He stands up. Gracie's trying to get the sweep there to get him back down, pushes him up against the fence. Neiman's got some good throws too. He's got some good judo throws. He's got some good, some good takedowns. Javier Torres, also a judo black belt though, so Javier Torres more than capable of beating Neiman Gracie tonight and handing him his first loss. And they jockey against the fence there. 2:40 left in the first round. Oh, and Gracie gets the sweep though. Ouchigari. That's in Japanese. That's means inner reap, and what is just the sweeping of the inside foot. Nice elbows from the bottom there from Javier Torres though. Really the only strike that works off your back. Is if you get some space and you get that elbow on the top of the head, and he landed a couple good ones there. Gracie actually, he stands up there for a minute, but he's just trying to get better position. Trying to pass the guard. Oh, he's got an ankle. Neiman Gracie's going for an ankle. He's got it underneath. He doesn't have it yet. He's got a hold of his foot. He's got both of Javier Torres' legs caught up. Torres is not in any danger of being submitted yet. But this has been, if you've been watching the Eddie Bravo International, Invitational, or any jiu-jitsu tournaments, you'll know this last year has been the year of the heel hook and the leg locks. Such a progression in heel hooks and leg locks. And Neiman Gracie, he's got that ankle. He doesn't have the body locked yet. Javier Torres still seems to be okay at the moment. Gracie's, he's got both feet there. It's almost like he's kind of deciding which one to go for. It's just kind of a jumbled up mess there. I think he's trying to create some confusion, but he does not have a good hook on either heel yet. Gracie throws a couple strikes from inside of that pretzel that he's got there, and he kicks Javier Torres in the face a couple times there. That's that effective for creating space. Javier Torres hammer fists Gracie, trying to get out of it. And I said he still does. It does not look like yet that he has a heel hook sunk in yet. He's starting to lean back on it more. Only 10 seconds, few seconds left of the round. I think Javier Torres is going to survive this. All right, and that's the end of the first round. Yeah, very weird ground position for sure. Cap, yeah. RS says, yeah, you put it the right way. He looks like someone that talks their way into selling anything. Yep. Andrew says he lost 40 pounds for this. Jesus. Oh, my God, Brandon. Brandon Shaw's pink boots back in here. So this is about to get wild. This is about to go off the rails when Brendan Schaub's pink boots come in. Because those boots were made for stalking, and that's just what they'll do. That's actually, if you guys didn't realize that the Patsy Cline song, These Boots Were Made for Walking, Brendan Schaub actually did a remake of that song called These Boots Were Made for Stalking. And not near as popular as the original, but creepy nonetheless. Javier Torres with a straight left over the top there. He's definitely got the better striking. Neiman Gracie's striking obviously at a much higher level than Danis's, the jiu-jitsu expert earlier. But he's in his 8th MMA fight as well. So he should be, he should have much further progression. Oh, Torres misses a kick there, gets off balance. Gracie lands a left hook and gets inside. He's got a left underhook. He's pushing Torres against the fence. He's almost got double underhooks. He's got the right under, but he's not got it in. He's got it under the arm, but it's not an underhook. Until you wrap it around that arm, and you can see the strength of Javier Torres there. Holding on to him there, knees. Neiman Gracie doing a good job of kneeing him against the fence, and Royce Gracie watching on from the, and a nice Ouchigari again. Inner reaping sweep for Neiman Gracie. He gets Javier Torres down again. Torres landing a few more of those elbows. Javier Torres, I'm a little surprised that Javier Torres has been caught by the Ouchigari twice, being a judo black belt. But this isn't a judo tournament. You got so many more things to look at. I won't be too hard on him for that. A little nice right hand, a little ground and pound for Gracie. Just looking to set up the submissions. Mario says, I'm ready for those Fedor haymakers. Me too, man. Me too. I wouldn't be too upset to see a couple quick finishes so we can get to that fight. Neiman Gracie he's going for a head and arm choke here. If he gets inside here, and he can do this from a half guard, he's got a head and arm from a half. Oh, and Torres is out, I think. Well, and he's getting back into it. It would take a lot of leverage to get it from half guard, and he's turning him. He's not got it now, but he's trying to turn him over. He's trying to turn him over from the half guard and get Torres's back. He's going to kind of have his back to the side. Yeah, that's a really awkward position to try to get that from. If anybody can get it, it's a Gracie. And he just used that to pull guard, pull mount. Neiman Gracie flipped him from half guard into full mount. What a transition. And now he goes from the head and arm. from full mount, and he may have it now. What a beautiful transition from half guard to full mount. Oh, now he's going to go to side mount to get this head and arm. Much better position for that, and that's the choke. There's the submission. Neiman Gracie, beautiful transitions. Royce standing up and clapping, cheering for approval. I know he's a Gracie. I know that's what he's expected to do, but that transition from half guard to full mount, that sweep was so incredibly impressive. That was such high level, especially against a guy, like I said, who, you know, had several submissions himself, has a great jiu-jitsu game, and is a judo black belt. To turn the half guard into a full mount that quickly, I wish they would have went back to the half guard to show that transition. They're showing it from the full mount there, and he gets the arm triangle choke, and he gets them in position to pass, and now he's going to switch over to that side mount, which allows him to get even more leverage. Great job. Thank you for the shout out as always, Cap. Damn, Jiu-Jitsu pulled it off against Yamasaki. That is such high level. For those of you that haven't rolled in Jiu-Jitsu or Judo, to go from half guard to full mount the way that he did, and the way that he transitioned, it's very, very difficult move. I'm watching this Baby Slice in the Burger King commercial, training with the King. I love it. That is great. I'm a little surprised that Burger King's endorsing UFC and Bellator. Well, they got Conor, but then Baby Slice. Good for him, man. Rickson Gracie would be proud. Absolutely, man. Rickson and Royce looking on, man. Very, very proud, as he should be. That was a great win. Great win, great transitions, great submission. I don't know if Bellator's his permanent home or he plans on looking at the UFC later, but he's becoming more and more of a complete martial artist. I'm not going to say his striking was great in that, but he kind of does, like Royce did. His striking's good enough to get there. And I just noticed, what in the hell is going on, guys? I got 8 thumbs up and 8 thumbs down. What? Who the fuck are those 8 people?
That is a great quote.
That's got to be some kind of mistake from YouTube. You guys want to give me some thumbs up and straighten this BS out? I have to lay some smack down here. Now, thanks everybody for watching. We got a good amount of people in here right now, and at the end of the day, honestly, it all pays the same. Which right now with YouTube revenue is very, very little. So anybody who has a dime to their name, if you could possibly donate to this channel, it would be greatly appreciated. Because YouTube revenue is literally just about extinct at this point. And I am not exaggerating. If you could hit me at paypal.me/fightswithfriends or in the super chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, you can see it on there, paypal.me/fightswithfriends, or on the super chat. I've had people on here trying to give me a guilt trip. talking a little bit about funding, and like and subscribe. And then I'm watching those MMA holes last night, and they're having a competition between Chris and Jesse for who can give him the most money. And Jesse had like $100, and Chris had like 40 and something. They weren't even talking MMA, so I don't ever want to hear any smack talk again. Tied for second most submissions in Bellator history now, Neiman Gracie. So if you guys didn't recognize that, that was a shakedown. I'm waiting for the donations. They think I'm joking. They think I'm joking, Cap. It's fine. MMA Hill's got a shitload of donations for that felony versus Bruce fight. And what did we get here? We got nothing. What are we, chopped liver? I can't even get chopped liver. Apparently they got richer fans than I do. And that guy doesn't even commentate the fights, from what I see. I mean, usually I'm doing a companion at the same time, but... And does anybody honestly think that MMA Holes has better MMA knowledge and commentating than I do? I guess they do, because they give them all their money. And I'm over here drinking canned beer. But I'm happy you're all here. Don't confuse my bitching with not appreciating you guys being here, because I do appreciate you. I just want your money because I'm poor and I'm drinking canned beer.
You get to enjoy a few extra meals as you're moving on up and competing in the Bellator World Heavyweight Grand Prix, and I'm wondering...
So, seriously, do you guys not understand what a shakedown is?
I've always wanted to do a tournament.
This is a robbery. Give me your money. Hit that super chat or the PayPal. I'm waiting. I'm about to cut the stream here. There's Ryan Bader in the interview there on Skype. Fish and Roaches says, show the fight. There's more to life, says Jeremy Swan. There's more to life, but when I go to the store, they only accept one thing, and that's money. I am buying anything with these looks, man. I'm pushing 40 years old with a beer gut and a receding hairline. What do you think I'm getting? Dirty looks? Maybe I need better lighting and a makeup artist. I don't know. You guys tell me.
You know, and if you look at who I fought compared to who he fought, I haven't fought a non-top 10 guy in I don't know how many years, you know, and so I'll just go in there, you know, and really put
This is RS's boyfriend here talking, Ryan Bader. I hope you're watching this. RS Ryan Bader on Skype. They're watching from Phoenix, Arizona. There, and for some reason he's got a territory of Arizona map behind him to remind everybody he's from Arizona. Fish and Roaches says, I gotta pay. Fish and Roaches says, I'll pay, but I gotta see the fights. Well, then there would be no more YouTube channels, so there would be no money. May 12th, Ryan Bader versus King Mo, San Jose, California. So next week we're gonna do, of course, the no longer Canelo Alvarez. Triple G's fighting on Cinco de Mayo against, I think it's the Burger King mascot. I think he doubles as the Burger King mascot on his days off. I can't remember the guy's name. Then the next week we're going to get Ryan Bader versus King Mo. But I believe that same week we got Lomachenko. We got Linares and Lomachenko, which, God, I am looking so forward to that boxing match. Jorge Linares, I think, and Vasil Lomachenko. Seriously, that's one of the best fights out there right now. I'm almost excited about that as a potential Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua fight. Aaron Pico 2-1 versus Lee Morrison. They're putting up the Bellator 199 card. It's going to be Ryan Bader versus King Mo. Paul Daly versus John Fitch. John Fitch making his debut in Bellator. Aaron Pico versus Lee Morrison. And rounding it out with Adam Piccolotti versus Carrington Banks. Actually, all top names on that. Pretty decent names on all that.
Was this how you saw it playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw myself coming out on top.
On my limited to no funds, I actually have been talking to a great guest that looks like he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The founder, the king of MMA. People think it's Dana White, but the founder of the UFC, Art Davie. I've been in contact with Art Davie, and he's trying to make time for me before his induction into the UFC Hall of Fame to be on Fights with Friends. So that would be a huge, that would be huge for the channel. That would be great. Mario says, do you get revenue for the amount of subscribers you have? It is based on the amount of subscribers I have. You get so many, you get so much per ad play. So if someone, for those ads that play like 15 seconds and you can't skip them, I get a minimal amount, like a penny or two maybe. The ones that are skippable, when you skip them, I get nothing. The overlay ads, there's like a few of them to a penny. I'll tell you, I had 4,000 some ads last month, and I had $49 in revenue for the ad revenue. So literally, right now on YouTube, we kind of, unless you're a top creator with millions of subscribers, you're pretty much living off donations off Super Chat and PayPal. So, Rodney War Eagle, Yarbrough, what's up, man? Has Frank Mir fought yet? No, he has not. That would be a good one to have on there, Eagle Yarbrough. I'm a fan. Cap says, Dylan Dennis called out Ben Ash. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? I didn't hear that. Holy shit, he is out of his mind. Askren would destroy him. That guy, yes, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert, but he is a baby in the striking game. He's got no takedown. He pulled guard to win the fight. Holy shit. No problem, Mario. I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad. I'm just trying to let you know the situation. Not just that I'm in, but that all these creators are in. There's a lot of creators. A lot of them a lot more talented than me. As far as graphically and a lot of other things. My live stream, I don't do a lot. I record myself and commentate, and I have fun with you guys. And but the ad revenue right now, there's no other way to put it, but it sucks. Not only has YouTube lost so many advertisers, one of the biggest things right now they're putting out there, if you buy $25 in ad revenue, you get $100 in ad revenue free, which is great if you want to advertise on YouTube right now. So if you are a business right now, I would highly recommend taking advantage of it, honestly. Put out $25. Facebook's doing the same thing. Put out $25 for ads, and you get $100 worth of free ads. What does that mean for creators? It means Google's already taking 45% of our ad revenue, and now we're losing 75% of that. So it pretty much means practically nothing. Cap says he called him out in the post-fight backstage interview. Oh my God. Rodney's, thanks, man. Dennis thinks he's the new McGregor. What the fuck? One fight in the UFC. And I'll tell you, I wanted to be a fan of this guy. I had watched his jiu-jitsu game. I had watched him in jiu-jitsu tournaments. And some of those things aren't easy to find. And I was looking forward to him coming into Bellator. Like I said, he is a jiu-jitsu wizard when it comes to that kind of thing. But you can't be an asshole when you've never fought in MMA. You win one fight, and all of a sudden you're calling the world out. It's like that asshole that I even hate to say his name, Cunnington. People say, oh, I hope he fights so-and-so, and I hope he gets his ass beat. I've heard him say, oh, I hope he fights Tyron Woodley. I hope he gets his ass beat. I hope RDA beats Colby Covington's ass. I can't stand you know what I want to happen to Colby Covington? I don't want anybody to beat Colby Covington's ass. I don't want him fighting. That's the issue. In my mind, those kind of guys are a disgrace to the sport. I don't want him making money beating anyone or getting beat by anyone. Is a guy that just talks smack for the point of talking smack, and he just needs to shut the fuck up and fight. Dennis thinks, yeah. And even McGregor, as critical as I've been of him, and I will continue to be of him, because he does annoy me. Hopefully RDA humbles him. I hope so, Mario, but I hope RDA beats him. I'll say that. I don't know if anything's going to humble him. But even McGregor, like I said, I've been very critical of him. I think rightfully so, and I will continue to be extremely critical of him as long as he acts the way he's been. He got some wins behind his belt. The guy, say what you will about him, he beat two legitimate champions. Jose Aldo had not lost in over 10 years, waxed him in 13 seconds, went in there, dominated Eddie Alvarez. He's beaten Dustin Poirier, who's probably about to get a shot at Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's got as good a shot as anybody else. He's beaten champion Max Holloway. You can say these guys, are better than when they fought him. Doesn't matter. He's beat them. He beat all those guys. Now he's talking shit. He's doing stupid stuff. But like I said, he fought the fights. He did what he was supposed to do inside of the cage. So now he says things outside of the cage, and it's not quite as ridiculous. Our next fight is here in just a few seconds. Rodney says, Colby Covington is a piece of garbage. Tyron Woodley would destroy him. I totally agree, and I cannot stand him. The thing is, he isn't even good at playing the bad guy. He sucks at playing the bad guy. He's so transparent. And that's my issue. That's why I say, people say, oh, I want to be a heel. It's like these guys you love to hate, like Floyd Mayweather. I literally watched every Floyd Mayweather fight for the last 10 years of his career, pretty much. Rooting for him to lose. He went against a lot of the guys that were my favorite guys, too. I was a big Arturo Gotti fan. I was a big Zab Judah fan. I wanted Conor to beat him. But, yeah, he played it right. He wasn't over-the-top ridiculous. He was like, I'm better than you. I can give away the first 5 rounds, still beat your ass. I'm too fast. I'm too lean. I'm too skilled. I'm going to make more money than everybody, and I'm going to flash it on Twitter and do these things. But he did it without going below the belt. And there used to be, this is what really frustrates me right now about MMA, about a lot of things, about what was going on between Charles Felony Bennett and Bruce Lachmedio, and I'll continue to go into that because it really upsets me as a fight fan. And as someone who believes in the integrity of mixed martial arts, there used to be an unwritten code that there were some things that you didn't say. It was like a man code kind of thing. I know women are fighting now too, and that's not a disrespect. But it was like certain things, them are fighting words. You don't talk bad about somebody's mother. You don't talk bad about their kids. You don't talk bad about their siblings. You certainly don't talk bad about their dead siblings. I go into that again. Colby Covington going after Mike Perry about his girlfriend. Things like that. These are just immature, childish things that it's not being a professional. When you do and say those kinds of things to me, you're not being a professional. And these are supposed to be professional fighters. Yes, at the end of the day, they still have to fight. It's fun when there's bad blood. But when Rampage Jackson and Rashad Evans got into it in The Ultimate Fighter, we did not see these kinds of things. That was a pretty volatile rivalry. I'm not saying we've never seen them, but it should be below the top fighters in the game. Mara says, I think Andrei Arlovsky would have done great in this tournament now that I think about it. He is doing great. Fights here in just a few minutes, Milos. Looks like Chael and Jay Glacier are talking a little more. I think there's a little extra time to feel because those first two fights were so quick. Andre could potentially be a champion in Bellator, but in the UFC, not so much. Yeah, the UFC games passed him up, but he probably could make it in Bellator. He's getting up there, though. Colby is trying to be just like McGregor. I cannot respect Tyron Woodley after he said Floyd can be ready for pro MMA in 3 months. Andres Jimenez says, there's a difference, and that's your opinion, and I respect it. To me, there's Rafael Lovato Jr. She is 7-0, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions, so only one of his wins went the distance. Gerald Harris, 25-5, 11 knockouts, 6 subs. That guy's an animal. But to go back to that, to me, I respect your opinion, but it's Tyron Woodley stating an opinion. It's not being disrespectful of anyone. It's not a below-the-belt kind of thing. You could say that maybe it's a little disrespectful to the art. Mars says, Pandora box opened as soon as Conor McGregor was involved. Yeah. Yarbrough says, Felony was wrong for talking about that guy's dead brother. That was messed up. I lost my brother. I don't know what I would do if someone bad-mouthed him. Bad karma for Crazy Horse. Yes. I know I completely went off the deep end on that stream. Anybody that was watching it, I went off on Felony. I regret absolutely nothing I said. I stand behind all of it. I think it was completely one of the absolute worst things you could possibly do, especially so close to a suicide. Do you realize, I don't know if you guys realize, I know this is an MMA stream, and I'm not trying to here to, be this kind of guru, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. But over 1 million people every year commit suicide, and about 20 times more than that attempt to commit suicide. So to joke about something like that, somebody said that about my brother. I'm sorry, I'm taking you out in the parking lot and I'm putting my elbow through your fucking head. I'm probably literally killing you. And I think about my brother and I think about losing him. And after his suicide, and somebody says something like that, if I'm close to that guy, I'm breaking his fucking neck. And that's a code of respect for family that's been there for years, and that's sometimes I feel like there's a generational gap as I get older, and I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope there's still that respect for family and friendship, but people think they're being the tough guy to say certain things. Oh, you went so low. Oh, I can't believe you said that. Everybody wants to get a shock factor. There is a certain respectability by not saying certain things, leaving certain things unsaid, not talking bad about people's mother, their father, their brother, their sister, their wife, their girlfriend. I used to think that kind of goes unspoken. My wife's a 5th grade teacher. She just said that she tells her students, just because a thought crosses your mind doesn't mean it needs to cross your lips. Of course, her 5th graders aren't smoking crack on their stream either, so hopefully not. Mario says, I'm pretty sure Crazy Horse was on some type of substance when he said that. He looks a bit off his rails. He was definitely drunk and high when he was on my stream. So part of why that was, and I reminded him several times, we were 3 hours off. So he called me actually 3 hours before our interview. And he's like, what's going on? He called me, he messaged me, and I was trying to tell him, like, hey, I'm 3 hours different than you. Remember we talked about it? He's calling me at 2 p.m. my time, saying, you know, what the hell is going on? And then when I tell him, he goes, oh, fuck. And I could kind of hear it in his voice. And just knowing Felony, it was like this drop in his voice was like, fuck, man, are you kidding me? I got to go 3 more hours without getting high? I don't think I can do that. I mean, seriously, that was kind of my thought at the time, and I was worried about it. Yarbrough says, you're the best MMA streamer. You keep it real, and everything you just said is true. Much respect to you. Now my favorite streamer. Well, thank you, Rodney Yarbrough. I appreciate you guys. And I know I was joking a little bit about a shakedown earlier, but honestly, I have some of the best fans in this, and I have the best moderator out there again. I don't thank him enough. Cap is a great guy, awesome moderator. He's there for like every stream. We don't pay our moderators generally. I don't pay my moderator. I don't have the money. You know, he does it because he's a good freaking guy. And, you know, that's all there is to it. So thank you, Cap. Literally, like I said before, best moderator on YouTube, in my opinion. And he's quick. If somebody comes in and they're saying, you know, saying something that they shouldn't be saying, most of the time I don't even see it. I just look down and I see message retracted and somebody's kicked out. He's just on it. So, very good. Andre said, I hope Fedor wins tonight. He can't afford another loss. I agree, Andres. I'm going for him, too. I said, not that I have anything against Frank, but I'm a fan, too. I root for some of these guys. I have my favorites. And, you know, I love Fedor. Damn. All right, 7. Hell yeah! And anytime you say, hell yeah, you got to have a drink of beer. You got to slam your beer and finish that shit off like a man, right? Cap says, damn, Big Baby Miller came into his fight weighing over 300 pounds. Holy shit. Austin 316, baby. What's up? Tim Hart is in the house. Everybody give it up for Tim Hart. Thanks for coming in, man. Rodney Yarbrough says, hell yeah. Tim Hart's been on a lot more of these streams lately, and one of the donators to this channel. I believe he had a donation my last stream, the stream before, so thank you again for that, and thanks for coming on the stream, man. Thank you, everybody that's in here. How many people we got in here now? It's moving up. We've been steady. We've been steady around 30 people. We got 30 in here right now. So it's going great. Rafael Lovato Jr. versus is 7-0, 34 years old, 6'3", going against Gerald Harris tonight. I'm actually going to pick Gerald Harris to beat Lovato. Give him his first loss. I'm 2-0 so far tonight, so I'll take a chance. Gerald Harris, 17 wins by KO submission, 10 in the first round, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions. 7 knockouts and 3 submissions in the first round. This guy's no fucking joke. Thanks again for the shout-outs, Cap. Tim Hart, have a drink for me, Mike. Haha, I got my kids, or I'd be drinking. Here's Brandon Shaw's Pink Boots again. Love your commentating, Mike. Make sure you keep your voice moisturized. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think I need another beer. Hey, David.
What?
Beer me. Please. I guess I need to come up with some memorabilia, which I've been thinking about. And I was thinking the first shirt I would sell is, hey, David, grab me a beer. You want to make a cameo and wave to everybody, David? All right, 15 seconds into this round. And I like the stance there, Gerald Harris. Rafael Lovato Jr., of course, you know, the confidence. Oh, goes for a flying knee and misses. And Gerald Harris ends up on top. Lovato Jr.'s got a great submission game himself. And he's going for an arm already. He doesn't have anything yet. But he's working. He's almost kind of got like a little rubber guard going on there. Gerald Harris needs to be careful. These guys both have high jiu-jitsu, high-level jiu-jitsu games. See, this is an interesting kind of rubber guard here. This is what RS was talking about earlier. This is actually a really nice rubber guard. Oh, and he just rolled over the arm. What an incredible transition for Rafael Lovato Jr., and that's what RS was talking about, the magic of the rubber guard. That was one of the most beautiful transitions from rubber guard into armbar that you will ever see. They talk about a guard and an active guard, and that was an incredibly active guard. When I'm done. Thank you. Wow, that was impressive. That was absolutely impressive. Seven says, get the man a beer. What do you think Khabib versus Askren would look like? I'm not sure that's the most entertaining fight in the world. I've thought about that. I think Askren's wrestling, as far as keeping people down and stuff, is actually superior to Khabib's. I'm not sure. They're both at such a high level. Khabib is, you know, Askren's fought at 170. I would love to see that fight. I would absolutely love to see it. I think I might honestly favor Ben Askren, though. I would pick Askren by decision. Rafael Lovato Jr., 8-0, still undefeated. Another first-round submission tonight. And that's my first loss on picking tonight. I picked against Lovato Jr., and first-round submission. He smoked him. Wow, 10 first-round finishes. That's awesome. Says Rodney. Mario says, I need a beer, man. Rodney says, I'd buy that shirt. I need to get that shirt up then. We're going to make that shirt. Jiu-Jitsu did it again. My God, what the hell is going on? This is a Jiu-Jitsu night, which this might not be looking good for Fedor because Frank Mir is a Jiu-Jitsu expert. 7 KO and 3 submission in first round. I may be, yeah, you're right, Rodney. That was Gerald's actually got 7 knockouts and 3 submissions in the first round. Askren versus Khabib will be better suited for a grappling match. That I agree with you, Mario. I'd still watch it. Post a link where I can watch, please, Jank Johnson. Sorry, dude, I don't have one. I pay for DirecTV now. So that's where I got it at. Hurry up. Go to YouTube TV. They have a 30-day free trial. You pretty much get all the channels. If you've used that, use another email or go to Sling TV. They have a 30-day free trial. At least the last time I was there, they did. Same way John Jones and Hendo did. Yeah. And that's what I've been kind of wondering if John Jones he's been so inactive for so long. I kind of halfway expected him to be in some kind of grappling only match, like maybe the Eddie Bravo Invitational or something. Cap says, I think you can watch on the Bellator app on your phone. Thanks again for the shout out, man. I know you can watch the prelims. I've never tried to watch the main card on the app because I've always watched it on the TV. But I've watched the prelims on the app. and the prelims are always on there. So if you guys are looking for the prelims on TV, as far as I know, every single Bellator, they're only online, which is good news for people that don't have cable or satellite. As long as you have internet, you can watch the prelims. Will you be streaming 224 in a few weeks? I haven't decided yet, Rodney. Since I started Fights with Friends, I've gotten every UFC pay-per-view. I almost didn't get Valentina Shevchenko versus Skybich. I decided last minute to get that one. I'm not sure. There's so much going on that week. It's May 12th. You got Ryan Bader versus King Mo Lawal, the next round of the heavyweight tournament. I believe that week you also have the Lomachenko-Linares boxing match. So I'm kind of thinking against it right now. I'm not real excited by that Amanda Nunes Raquel Pennington fight, to be honest. Mario says, tomorrow I'm going to see the Avengers movie with my daughter. Sadly, Kobe already messed that up for me. I told you not to go to his Twitter, man. Did he seriously do that? I heard he did. That is so messed up. What an idiot. Yeah, I think we're going to go out and watch that tomorrow, too. We might go out tonight. After this, we're going to go out and watch a movie. Young David's been wanting to watch Ready Player One for quite a while now. We should probably watch it before it's out of the theater. So we might go watch that tonight, and then maybe Infinity Wars tomorrow. What else was it you were wanting to watch, David? What's the one you were really wanting to watch that I thought looked really good, too? Like Indestructible or something like that? What was it called? No, not Rampage, which I also want to watch. Says, how do you know you're going to switch? Annihilation, he wants to watch. He went for that flying knee and misses.
Pushed me down at the same time, and I figured he would kind of stay away, but since he came in, I said, all right, let's see what we can do. And I had a high guard, and I knew he felt the triangle.
Wow, I agree with you, RS. Everybody needs to work on that rubber guard. That was such an impressive transition.
How much confidence do you have against going?
That is just another level of guard.
Man, very confident. That's my world. That's what I spent my whole life doing. And, I'm training all my skills. I'm ready to show everything that I got, no matter where the fight goes.
Mario says, movie popcorn is the best. Unfortunately, you are correct, man. It's not good for my waistline, but damn, it is freaking delicious.
8-0 with 7 submissions. Who is it that you
8-0 with 7 submissions.
This was
Rafael Lovato Jr.
For like a #1 contender fight. It's my goal, my dream to be the Bellator champion. And so, as soon as possible, I want to go for that belt. Whoever they need me to go through next.
See, that's a different kind of fighter than a Dennis and maybe even than a Neiman Gracie. That's a complete mixed martial artist who also has incredible submission skills. That's like a Frank Mir. These guys that have gotten onto the highest level in the UFC, the Nogueiros, the Frank Mirs, the Fabricio Verdums, they have super high-level jiu-jitsu games, but they're complete mixed martial artists. You got a guy like this Danis guy that, honestly, I'm pretty damn sure if I went into a boxing match with him tomorrow, I'd probably kick his ass. And he's calling out some of the best guys in the game. If it were jiu-jitsu, obviously I'd be gone in 3 seconds. But in a boxing match, that's anybody's game. Mario says, this arena is like 20 minutes away from my home. Oh, that's sweet. Rodney said, I agree, UFC 224 isn't that good a card. For some reason, I was thinking the RDA Kobe fight was on that card. I had 224 and 225 mixed up. Sorry about that. No problem. 225 is an awesome card. That's the championship fight between Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero. I can't wait for that card. I wouldn't miss that one. for sure. They're advertising Michael Venom Page versus David Rickles at Bellator 200. You guys were asking about MVP Michael Venom Page. There's actually a lot of great MMA, Bellator MMA cards coming up all the way through the next couple months. So I'm pretty excited about all of it. And like I said, I know I said it earlier, but pretty much everybody's got a cell phone now. If you haven't seen it, if you have AT&T, you can get DirecTV now for $10 a month. Add it onto your bill. Well worth it. It comes with HBO, and that's what I'm watching on. When I watch it on my TV, I watch it on my Roku or my Amazon Fire TV. I'll get it. It'll freeze a little bit or glitch sometimes. I've been watching on the computer, and knock on wood, it has not glitched 1 second. The picture is absolutely perfect. It's actually it's stunning. It's better than anything that comes in on my TV.
These are two guys whose styles match up well. There are advantages.
So I knew I was looking forward to one of the fights on UFC 224, and it's the co-main event between Jacare Souza and Kelvin Gastelum.
No doubt about it, and he hits harder than Frank, even though he's a smaller guy.
So that's a pretty good fight. And also John Lineker's on that card. John Lineker's fighting Brian Kelleher. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I don't think there's enough on there for me to pay for that card. I probably pretty much would pay for it for sure, except for there's so much else going on that night with the Bellator tournament and boxing. Dave Rickles has the best interest as the caveman. I love that guy. That guy's freaking awesome. Mike, what's your favorite submission? That's an like favorite for me to pull off or favorite to watch. My favorite submission to pull off was always a choke, and I would say the Anaconda choke. Especially the one when the guy's standing and somebody gets on top of him and puts in the hooks, or like Ronda almost got submitted in her first fight by what's her name? Well, hello Leslie. I'm glad you're still here. Everybody say hello to Leslie. How's it going? Calf Slicer's an awesome one for sure. Fedor looked super pudgy in that promo. He did. I gotta say. Minus the Anaconda choke. That's a good one for sure. I'm rooting for Romero, even though I like Whitaker. I'm kind of with you on that one, Andreas. I really like both of them. And it's not necessarily that I like Yoel better, which I may a little bit. I mean, I may be a little biased, but Yoel Romero's 40 years old. Robert Whitaker, I believe, is 28. He's pretty young anyways. So, and Romero said if he wins a championship, he doesn't know if he'll fight again. So that'd be a great way for him to go out. And Whitaker's still got his whole career ahead of him. So if he loses to Yoel Romero and then dominates, gets the belt back for the rest of his career, I think that's a great way for everything to go down.
Credit karma. Bad for drama. Good for credit.
I like Yoel's creativity. Robert is too simple, says Mario. I don't think he's simple. I'm rooting for Romero, even though I like. Yeah, I like both of them. Like I said, it's it's hard. Especially, I like Robert too, though. Yeah, I like him both, especially after what he fought through, going through that staph infection in his stomach, and that for people that don't realize how bad that is, excuse me, he almost died. Robert Whitaker almost died. Staph infection in your stomach can be incredibly fatal. That is incredibly life-threatening. And for him to be
Did you do a shout out for Dutch Guy?
for him to be fighting, I will. For him to be fighting this soon is incredible because he's lucky to even be alive right now. All right, before this fight, I want to take a moment and be serious for everybody, the regulars on this stream. The guys out there that know Dutch Guy. He's our sister channel. I've done some streams and stuff with him, and people were wondering what was going on with him. And I'm going to share a little bit with him because I think, and I actually just got another email from him.
Wins 7 by submission, knockout, but 6 by submission. But he's really more of a guy who's going to stand up with you. That bodes well for the fans.
He just actually emailed me. He wants me to update you guys what's going on with him. So if you're not subscribed to MMA Newsroom, that's Dutch Guy, you should be. This is very hard. So this is some emails that I got from him, and I'm going to read this for anybody that knows him. Great guy. He's been on Skype with me. He's over there in the Netherlands. This is the email I got on the 25th. He says, bro, April 10th, I was involved in a heavy traffic incident on my way to work. Please, prayers for Dutch Guy. Great guy. Hard-working YouTuber, big MMA fan, even greater person. Proud to call him my friend. It says, on the way to, got in a heavy traffic accident on my way to work. I broke 7 ribs, punctured my lungs, and much more. Yesterday was the first day that my status was not life in danger. And he's a second language learner, so just keep that in mind as I'm reading this. If it's not heard, I am now recovering at intensive care still. I am a long way from recovering if I will ever recover 100%. So that's what's up. Then yesterday I got an email from him. Says, Mike, I am very wounded. Shit happens, bro. I am very lucky to still be alive. Let me tell you, this is the second time I escaped my life with some shit. I guess the third time my luck will run out. 2 days, in 2 days, a friend comes to visit me, and he will install Skype on my MacBook so we can tap, brother. He says, these are the injuries that I can translate. He has a broken shoulder, a punctured lung, a punctured colon, excuse me, a punctured colon, and a broken arm. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. Medical miracle that he's even alive. Please, prayers for him. What was that? I say my family's thoughts and prayers are with him. Please, your guys' thoughts and prayers are with him. He emailed me again just a few minutes ago. I just opened up my email. It says, nice to have some contact with you, Mike. My situation makes me appreciate everything so much more now. Even to type an email was so exhausting for me, brother. I heard from the doctors that they give up on me when I came in. The strength of my upper body from sports, as you guys that know him know, he is a professional kickboxer. And my good condition overall saved my life, Mike. It's not so easy to get rid of Dutch Guy, he says. You'll have to shoot me. And then the email I just got a few minutes ago says, I had talked to him about streaming, us doing a Skype here recently. Says, that's a good idea, brother. I will do my first stream with you, Mike. I hope you can do a small thing for me. I'm losing a lot of members, and I have, of course, a lot of members by you. I hope you want to inform my members by some short footage what's up with me. Maybe the loss of members will stop, and I can communicate with them also. Be very grateful if you can do that for me. Mike, if you really have figured out Skype, brother, that's a great job. I think after May 5th, I am strong enough to sit upright for some 10 minutes. We can do a short one live. Let me know what you think. Watch out in traffic, bro. Be sharp and don't call or do other shit while driving, please. I don't know what exactly happened as far as his traffic accident, but of course, please don't text and drive. Please, prayers for our friends, those of you that know Dutch Guy. It's an incredibly sad thing for me because he's a great friend, but he's an incredible member of the MMA community, an incredible steward of the YouTube creator community. I love him like a brother, and I wish him fast success, and I hope you guys do the same. Thank you for being patient for that. Those of you that don't know him, please go to MMA Newsroom and subscribe to his channel. He will be back soon. I will try to get on there and do some updates on his channel, kind of try and help him out too. If you see anybody else in any other streams or know anybody else that's members, if you could give him updates, he's asked me to please pass that along. If you could give updates to his other subscribers and people that watch the channel. So that's what's going on with him. Everybody had been wondering what's going on with Dutch Guy. I've been wondering about him because I hadn't heard from him forever. And thank you for those that are praying for him. Cap says God bless him. Rodney, I will be praying for him. Thank you. Mara says stay strong, brother. And Leslie, whatever, thought it said something, prayer, says message retracted now. But yeah, thank you for your thoughts and prayers for Dutch Guy. Like I said, he's a good friend, a great member of the MMA community, a great steward for YouTube creators, and even a better person. He being off in another country, I've spent hours with him on Skype, and say I've never been by as close to anybody as I am to him, to somebody that I've never actually met face to face. Being in another country, we've never actually personally met face to face. We've only done things together through our channel, through Skype and email and different things. But obviously, if you guys have probably seen him on our stream through Skype. What's that? My wife was saying something, I don't know.
I said that in 2019 we could go, or 2020 we could go together.
Oh, she was saying in 2019 we'll go over there and visit him. All right, we are getting up to the next fight here now. Thank you for your patience for that. And like I said, thank you for your prayers and support for Dutch Guy. And please, if you're subscribed to his channel, please stay subscribed. Go over there. If you could give some comments, I'm sure he'll check his channel. If you could please leave him some comments and, some encouragement and some nice things there for what he's going through there. He literally cheated death. So I would appreciate that very much. I'm sure he would. The words of encouragement have got to be great for him right now. If you were subscribed to him and you thought he was gone, he's not gone from YouTube. If you please resubscribe and, like I said, like his videos, and he will be back. He's a strong guy, and I know he'll be back as good as ever. Do you know when is Gegard Mousasi fighting again? Gegard is fighting at UFC 200 on the same card as Michael Venom Page and the David Rickles fight. I just have the date up for UFC 200. I can give it to you here in just a second. May 25th. That's in Wembley, London, actually. That's a great main card. He's fighting Rafael Carvalho for the middleweight world championship. on May 25th at Bellator 200. So there you go. Emmanuel Sanchez, 16-3, 1 knockout, 6 subs, making his way down to the cage now. What's his channel name? MMA Newsroom. Joe Anto says, who's fighting next? It's Emmanuel Sanchez, and I believe it's I'll let you know here in a minute. His opponent's name slips my mind for a moment. Actually, I had it right here. Yes, it's Emmanuel Sanchez and Sam Cecilia. I almost said that. I couldn't remember for sure, though. Emmanuel Sanchez, 16-3, 5'9", 145 pounds. Sam Cecilia, 16-8, 32 years old, 5'7", 146 pounds. Emmanuel Sanchez is 16-3. Sam Cecilia is 16-8. Yes, thank you, Cap. It's a channel called MMA Newsroom. Hater Free Small. I cannot show the fight. 12 wins by KO or submission for Sam Cecilia. Out of Spokane, Washington. I'm from Eastern Washington. So there's actually a very active MMA community there in Spokane. For anybody who's ever been there. Michael Chiesa comes out of there. So I'm gonna post a link in the comments. You guys can hit it later, but this is going to be a link for MMA Newsroom. This is Dutch Guy's channel. 287 subscribers. I hope his subscribership goes through the roof. Here's in for this. So just whenever you guys get a chance to look at that, that link should take you to his YouTube channel. All right, and here we go. Sam Cecilia and Emmanuel Sanchez. Oh, nice knees in the middle of the cage by Emmanuel Sanchez there. Nice body kick from Cecilia. And nice couple hooks. Oh, big right hand over the top from Emmanuel Sanchez. And they clinch in the middle of the cage. Both of them exchanging shots there. Nice knee from Emmanuel Sanchez, and Sam Cecilia going for the takedown there. Sam Cecilia, Ultimate Fighter Season 15 veteran as well. So Sam Cecilia pushing Sanchez against the fence. Oh, Sanchez just rolled for a leg bar. He just rolled from standing. Oh. And he's out. Oh, he's got it again. He was out, and Sam Cecilia went back down, and Emmanuel Sanchez got it again. He's got it pretty deep. He's got that ankle, and he's out again. He's not completely out, but Emmanuel does not have the ankle right now. Oh, he's got it again. He's got it again. Sam Cecilia's like, I got to get the hell out of here. I'm surprised he didn't stand up there. He just jumped into Emmanuel Sanchez's guard. That was a couple scary moments for Sam Cecilia. The leg lock game. It's amazing. MMA has been, the UFC's been around for 25 years now. It's amazing the evolution of the leg lock game in just the last year to 2 years. It was barely a factor a few years ago. Now you're seeing leg locks everywhere. A lot of that thanks to Eddie Bravo and some of the guys over there. Wow, and look at it. Here he is out of the rubber guard. Emmanuel Sanchez. Oh, and Sam Cecilia pounding down some ground and pound. He's trying to keep that leg out of there. Oh, and he gets Emmanuel Sanchez's back. That's the thing. He makes a mistake. And Sam Cecilia also got a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. He doesn't exactly have his back. He's kind of got like a side mount. And Emmanuel Sanchez is standing up, and he's got Cecilia's back up against the fence. He's climbing up on Sam Cecilia, trying to get hooks in. And you were asking me what my favorite submission was, and I said the standing anaconda. And Emmanuel Sanchez is down now. He's off of Sam Cecilia. He's landed some knees there, a minute 50. Oh, and he throws some kicks up to the face from standing up against the fence. That was amazing. Goes to a sweep, and Cecilia blocks it. Emmanuel just hanging all over Cecilia. Oh, he's going for a standing triangle choke. He might have it. He's got a very tight standing triangle choke. We are seeing a level of jiu-jitsu tonight I could not remember seeing in my entire time as an MMA fan. Emmanuel Sanchez has an standing arm triangle sunk in. There was no setup on this, and now he's going down to the ground. He's got hooks in. Sam Cecilia just tapped out. He was turning red, and he is tapped out. Every single fight on the main event has been a submission tonight. We are being treated to an absolute jiu-jitsu clinic. And this event could very well be the marquee event that puts Bellator up there with the UFC and brings a lot of fans. I could not believe the level of transitions and submissions from the jiu-jitsu game we have seen tonight. The rubber guard has been done. That was a standing arm triangle with no setup. We are living in a complete alternate MMA universe to what we were in just a year and a half ago. The submission game has evolved so much after 25 years of the UFC. The submission game has evolved so much in the last 18 months. It's almost unbelievable. If you would have told me that we were going to see this kind of evolution in the 25th year of legalized MMA, I would have thought you were freaking nuts. Andres Jimenez says this is submission night. This is submission night. 7th career submission for Emmanuel Sanchez. I didn't know we were watching the Eddie Bravo Invitational in a cage. This is an absolute incredible night of submissions. The evolution of the game is on full display here. The complete evolution of the MMA game. What is next? Seriously, what is next in the MMA game?
Yep, it's got 3 feta cheese stuffed in the crust.
I really cannot compare what's happened in this last year and a half after 25 years to any other sport. Nothing really comes to mind. It's like 25 years into baseball and all of a sudden somebody invents the slider and the curveball in the same year. Jason says, I believe the evolution in the sport is because of good coaches and teams to teach fighters on the first day what the old school fighter would learn in a lifetime. There's a guy, he coached GSP. They call him like the master of the leg lock. He's a very good coach. He's credited with a lot of the evolution of this leg lock game. He was on Joe Rogan Experience about a month ago. I bet Cap remembers his name. And basically he was a guy that, I can't remember what country he's from. He's not from the United States, but his leg was cut He had an injury and his leg was cut actually too short, where he has really bad leg and back problems. He can barely walk. And he actually revolutionized submissions and especially the leg lock game. And I can't think of what his name is right now. But if I can think of it, or if I can find it here, it's a great JRE. It was a great MMA companion.
798-6205 or visit bettervisionfast.com. Need to show some love to Javier Torres. Actually made it to round 2 against Neiman Gracie, but it's a sea of submissions, and now it's selfie time for Manuel Sanchez celebrating his submission victory. Let's make it
John Danaher. His name's John Danaher, if you want to look him up. A good article. I remember in this before, also on BJJEE.com. John Danaher on leg locks conquering the jiu-jitsu world. But basically, he was one of the guys that said, why are we only locking down half the body in submissions? He says, why are we not locking down the full body? And he just, him and a couple other guys, they revolutionized the MMA game. I believe Fedor Mir is next, Matt. He just called out Carlson Gracie team. That was just scary. The transitions. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know how many submissions Sam Cecilia had to break out of in about a minute and a half. That had to have been like the scariest couple minutes of his life. They really knew what they were doing when they created jiu-jitsu, lifelong technique that never became obsolete. What works for MMA doesn't work in wrestling only or boxing only. That knowledge wasn't available in UFC, says Jason. Yeah, knowledge and technique is everything. Absolutely. Fifth time Sam has been submitted, says Mario.
You are 17 wins now, and you are in a position to possibly fight for that
17 victories, and he could be looking at a shot at the featherweight championship soon.
Which guy do you want to face?
Look at the Gracie guy, 8-0. I think almost all submission wins. Yeah, seven submissions and 8 wins now for Neiman Gracie. And Emmanuel Sanchez, I want the belt. I want it now. He is pumped. He just yelled, Mr. Coker, off your phone. Get ready for me. I want that belt. This guy is pumped. He says it's the Matador's era. Jesus. Cut the check. I had Fedor Zoltan. What's up, Zoltan in the house? What's going on, man? I did have Fedor after watching every single match being won by submission. I'm kind of doubting myself. Obviously, Frank Mir, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert, one of the pioneers of MMA Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sticking with my first pick, Fedor. I think he's fresher. I think he's faster. But anything can happen. Damn, Emmanuel about to blow a vessel. Hell yeah, it was, Mario. See, that's legitimate excitement, though. I could tell that guy was legitimately excited. Yeah, he was putting on a show, but it was not a forced thing. It was not a... It was not like CC, you know? My wife just said, how frickin' old is Frank Mir? Yeah, it seemed like he was fighting before I was born. He's only 38. My wife's like, seriously? Yeah, I think he's lying. I want to see Frank Mir's birth certificate. Yeah, Mir, I believe he's 38. He's 38 or 39. I believe he's 38. And also Bailey over at MMA Halls. Damn traitor. I should go over there and just say some shit, but I won't. Mir is slow AF. Yes, Zoltan, and that's why I picked Fedor, because I think there's just a huge speed difference. Fedor is obviously going to want to stay away from him on the ground, but there's a speed difference, there's a power difference. I think Fedor will knock him out. I think he'll probably knock him out pretty quickly, honestly. Yeah, it's funny. Bailey just emailed me the other day, too. What the hell? And anybody that seems to donate to the channel goes somewhere else. I don't know. Bailey hasn't been here in a while. Yeah. Well, we were emailing. He emailed me something back and forth, and I said, I haven't seen you in forever. He says, oh, I've been working 80 hours a week. So I was spying on their show last night. I popped in there for a minute. I didn't see him in there then. But,
We really have to choose him to be our next spokesperson. They so boring.
well, I wasn't spying. I said hi to Jesse, and Chris called me a cunt, and I left. But, Andres Aminia says, I also think Fedor by K. No, that was felony. Has Fedor ever tapped to submissions? Yeah, he was tapped out by Fabricio Verdum not too long ago. I'm not sure that's the only time he's been submitted, but I know he was submitted recently by Fabricio in Strikeforce. He hurt Fabricio. He was storming over him, throwing wild punches, and Fabricio reached down. I think he got an armbar on him. I can't remember for sure. Anybody who watched that fight, maybe they can refresh my memory. I think he pulled an armbar off on Fedor, but I know Fabricio Verdum. I remember that he submitted him. I remember watching the fight, but it's been a few years. Obviously, it was in Strikeforce. Verdum also submitted his brother Alex. Yes, he did. Fabricio Verdum was a stud. He might be at the end of his career now. He didn't look great in his last fight. Some of that could have been from jet lag. Being in a different country, I'm interested to see his next fight. But yeah, he is definitely one of the best heavyweight jiu-jitsu artists ever. I really want to see Fedor win. I can see how it would be almost fitting to see one more submission tonight, though. After everything that's happened, it's been complete submissions. What's up, Jose Carlos? Well, hello to you in California. Hello from Seattle. You're on Fights with Friends, actually, from Lake Stevens. The greatest MMA show in the history of Lake Stevens, Washington. Fights with Friends. I'm always surprised when I see a Russian tap. Those dudes look like cyborgs with no emotion. Hell yeah, they do. Look at Fedor, Marco Krokop, Igor Vunchenchin, Khabib, Basil. How do you say his name? Basil. I can't think of how to say his last name, but the Nerds, something like that. But, yeah, you're right. Pretty much no emotion on any of those guys. The Russians, the Kakistans. I heard Roy versus Askren is in the works. I hope so, man. I hope Askren comes back. I would love to see him fight Rory. That's a really interesting match. Oh, they're going to show one from the prelims. 150-pounder. 29-9, Eric Wisely. 33 years old, 150 pounds, 5'8", against Morgan Sickinger. 20-10, 32 years old, 5'8", 147.5 pounds. Inch difference between them. And reach, 71, 70 inches. Since they're showing this in between, I'm guessing it was quick. 150 pounders. I don't even see names up yet, so I'm going to say bald dude against dude with hair. No, Wisely with the red gloves, Sickinger with the blue gloves there. That makes it easier. Wisely, the southpaw there. Oh, that was an interesting running forward with the jabs and leg kicks there from Sickinger. Sickinger throws the right hand that misses. Sickinger kind of goes for a switch kick there, and Wisely misses a leg kick. Oh, nice right hand over the top from Wisely. Oh, big right hand for Sickinger. Exchange right hands. A leg kick for Sickinger. Oh, Wisely goes for a front kick, and Sickinger grabs that leg. Goes down, and what do you know? Wisely's got him in a triangle choke. Well, he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't quite. Oh, and he's pulling an arm out, and there it is. Arm bar victory. Was there any matches tonight that did not end by submission? Damn.
Here's the replay, presented by Blackheart Premium Spice Rum, the Bulls 93 proof.
It is a different game. I feel like I'm playing UFC 3 against young David. We just played last night for the first time. We played UFC 1 every single time. He'd pick Hoist Gracie. He would take me down and submit me. Take me down. What'd you get me by before we went to bed last night, Dave? By an armbar?
I think it was an armbar, but that was after...
I had Anderson Silva. I could not knock him out. Third round, he armbarred me.
Is so active. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because I think it's getting David back into MMA a little bit. At least he's enjoying the game.
In UFC 3, you can see like 9 transitions and 3 submission attempts in the span of like 2 minutes.
Well, apparently that's realistic with tonight because every single fight's ended by first round submission. I believe they're all first round. Was there one that was second round? I can't remember. It was all of them, except all of them have ended by submission, and I think they were all in the first round. One of them might have been the second round. Yeah, it's like 6 submissions. How was Mighty Mouse in the game? I haven't used him yet. I just played it for the first time last night, and that's how busy I've been with work and other things. Like I was saying, I want to set some stuff up behind me in the studio. I bought the game like 10 days ago. My wife said it was closer to a month ago. Well, it was more than 10 days ago, I guess. And I just played it. Me and David just played it for the first time last night. It's a very fun game. I'm definitely going to play it a lot more before I go online. Because right now I would get destroyed. I hear Cap's pretty good at it. Unfortunately, he's on PS4. I'm on Xbox One.
You haven't played, like, online gaming is not like that anymore, where if you, like it was in the Quake and Unreal Tournament days, where if you jump online...
Well, David seems to think I'm going to jump... David thinks I'm going to jump online and beat somebody. I don't know. I can't beat him yet. We just played the person last night. Anybody out there have UFC 3 on Xbox One? We need to go play later. You think they regret putting Conor McGregor on the cover? I don't know, man. He's still their cash cow. As much shit as he's pulled, Comedic Genius is in the house. What is up, Comedic Genius? Thanks for coming in, man. If you're late, though, that's going to cost you $5. I don't know if they regret putting Conor McGregor on the cover, but I'll tell you, he's still their cash cow. He's still their cash cow. If he was to fight tomorrow, he would sell more pay-per-views than anybody else in the game. Even John Jones. I played UFC 3 Undisputed a lot online. I would pick GSP and ground and pound to win, says Jason. You play on Xbox One or PS4? Cap says, start on career mode, Mike. Don't jump straight to online. No, I won't, dude. Well, thanks for the update, Comedic Genius. I was gonna eat after this stream. After that visual, I'm not really that hungry. That was for Xbox 360. Oh, UFC 3 Undisputed was different. This is just UFC 3. I forgot about that. That UFC Undisputed was pretty awesome. I play PC now, and there's no UFC games. David, excuse me, young David plays a lot of UFC, but he's been playing on Xbox with me too. A lot of PC.
Yeah.
I said UFC. He plays a lot. David plays a lot of PC. He's been playing some Xbox with me though. They should put Connor in there with old school Mankind from WWF cage match. Oh my God. What happened in the Fedor fight? It's next, man. It still has not happened. They are building it up. Frank Mir talking about toughness on a commercial now. Chairs and dollies available, says Mara Yamasaki. Have no one ever played Fight Night for Xbox 3? Fight Night 3 for Xbox 360. I played all the Fight Nights for PS3, and I played what was the last Fight Night? Champions. Fight Night Champions, and it has a pretty cool story mode. It's my favorite boxing game too. I love how the movement is with the joysticks instead of buttons. That was incredible. Something they integrated into this UFC game that I really liked, though, is on the left stick.
Right stick.
Was it the right stick? I thought it was the left stick.
Left stick is movement.
The right stick you can dodge punches with, so it's kind of like
There was a system like
it's
that.
kind of like Fight Night had with the punching, only it's for movement.
There was a system like that.
It's really cool.
Yeah, there was a system like that in the first year UFC.
It's obviously going to take me a long time to get any good. Roy Jones Jr. was my player of choice back then. Oh, hell yeah. Roy Jones is awesome. 14 wins by KO or submission. 12 in first round for Mir. 2 KOs, 9 submissions. And that's what Fedor's going to have to watch out for tonight. I'm not sure how 2 plus 9 is 14, though. I thought they said 14 wins by KO or submission, and that said 2 KOs and 9 submissions. So I'm a little confused, but I thought I heard he had lost by armbar already. No, they have not fought yet. Fight Night 3 was a revolutionary game back then. Oh, hell yeah, it was. Yeah, I had Fight Night. I had every single Fight Night game. 3, 4. I have Champion. I played Champion not too long ago, actually. I still have my PS3 hooked up. I just got an Xbox One not too long ago. My brother-in-law, a nice guy, bought it for me and David for Christmas. So now we got the UFC 3, and we're going to get online eventually. Eventually. When you see the gamer tag out there, Fights of Friends. Did we end up having to pick Fights W Friends, David? So it's Fights W Friends. They wouldn't let me put Fights of Friends on there. It was too long.
Capital S and capital W.
Yeah, I'm currently in court litigation with Microsoft over my right to use Fights of Friends on their system. I think it's complete garbage. No, not really. But, yeah, it's Fights W Friends. Did you ever see the fight between De La Hoya and Trinidad? It was intense. I did. That was an incredible fight. I used to watch all the boxing matches back then. One of the best entrances. Oh, absolutely. The fight I liked better was Bernard Hopkins versus Felix Trinidad, though when Felix Trinidad was a 4-1 favorite and Bernard Hopkins came in, bet $100,000 on himself, came in there and kicked Felix Trinidad's ass. Who else thinks Stipe is the best heavyweight in the world currently? He's my favorite fighter right now. I think he is the best. You know, until Daniel Cormier proves differently or somebody else. Fedor common opponents. Mark Hunt. Fedor won by submission. Mir lost by knockout. Against Bigfoot Silva, Fedor lost by TKO. Mir won by KO. They both beat Crow Cop. Fedor by decision. Mir by knockout, actually. They both beat Tim Sylvia by submission. Fedor knocked out Arlovsky. Mir lost by decision to Arlovsky. Both of them beat Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira twice. I always looked at Bernard as a dirty fighter. I think DC and Kane could beat him, says Cap. Could? I think definitely both of them could beat him, but I think Stipe is more likely to win in either one of those matchups. That's just my opinion. Those are very close matchups. Obviously, he's beatable. Between those three, they're all at a very high level. Any of them could beat each other on any night, I think. But I do think Stipe is the best in the world right now. I didn't look at Bernard as a dirty fighter earlier in his career. Later in his career, he kind of started definitely bending the rules a little bit on some things. And maybe I looked past it a little bit because I've been a fan of his earlier in his career. I was watching him way back in the day, though, when he lost his first fight to Roy Jones Jr. Nobody really knew who he was. It was real early in his career. And he lost the first fight of his career, actually, right after he got out of prison. Bernard Hopkins did. And then, I believe he won like 28 in a row or something like that after that. He won quite a few. Nice Jean-Claude Van Damme commercial. And Tostitas, that's funny. I hope Kane does not come back unless he is actually recovered. Agreed, Jimenez. I hope he's recovered, though. I don't know much. I don't know why people underestimate Stipe so much. I don't either, Mario. But I will say that Daniel Cormier is capable of beating... Stream complete. What the fuck happened? Oh, stream resumed. The stream is continuing. Okay. Oh, shit. I guess I lost the internet there for a second. So my internet just apparently glitched on me for a minute. I thought my stream was gone. I was wondering what in the world happened. I thought maybe I accidentally hit my hotkey. I have hotkeys for OBS on my stream. That if you hit the wrong button, it'll stop the stream. I'm glad there's still 38 of you in here. Thanks for sticking around. That little glitch there. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. All right, and they're going to go through a little bit of the pre-fight, of course. Fedor Emelianenko and Frank Mir. All right. Oh, yeah, Fedor does. He has a big belly tonight for sure. And Big John McCarthy said he picks Frank Mir to win this. So we'll see. This is the fourth round, third or fourth round of the heavyweight Grand Prix. It started out with Roy Nelson versus Matt Mitrione. Or did it start? No, Chael Sonnen versus Vanderlei Silva. Fought Chael Sonnen versus Rampage Jackson. I can't keep this straight. And then Matt Mitrione, Roy Nelson fought. Matt Mitrione won. And then this is the third fight. I don't think there's been another one yet. If I remember, and they're showing Frank Mir rolling on the mat. I just want to see this happen. I wish he didn't have such a big gut tonight, but I hope he gets it. I said I hope he gets it. I think he will. I think he gets it by knockout. I think he's too fast. Jimenez said Roy 1-2. Nice. I'm just a fighter, says Fedor, and I fight for the glory of my country. What bigger motivation would I need? And that guy's a beast on the bag. They're showing him sparring on the bag and on the mitts. That guy's a striking phenom. And Mir, You know, identical on the ground. He's like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wizard versus the striking phenom. Who's going to win it? Fedor has good BJJ defense, though. He has good BJJ himself. He's gotten submissions over his career. So as long as he's careful, I think he can stay out of Frank's submissions, and I think he wins by knockout. But at this level, especially with heavyweights, it's so hard to call. And here's the entrance. First fighter coming down here. So it's going to be the entrance for Frank Mir. Mario says, "It's on, guys. Let's go." And yeah, Frank Mir definitely looks like he's in shape. I think he's back on some, he's on some something. I wonder if they have a TRT exemption. I've never heard on TV, I've never heard them talk about TRT, about steroids or PEDs. The only thing I ever heard them talk about was when Chael Sonnen came back. Wait. So they just said he tested positive under USADA. So they did just talk about it right there, that Frank Mir tested positive. And there, Bellator's kind of poo-pooing on USADA, saying a lot of these guys have came back innocent, which a few of them have. Yeah, Murillo just said it. I heard that. Yeah. Yeah, he came back, and I heard them talk about Chael Sonnen. They said Chael Sonnen, when he signed with Bellator, and I just looked it up, I guess one of the stipulations was that he would have to pay them a fine of $500,000 if he ever tested positive. Fedor's like Stipe. They don't talk too much, but always put on a show. Absolutely. I love this referee with the frickin' braided beard. It looks like something out of a video game, or something like out of one of these. What do they call those shows, honey? The medieval time shows. I can't think of what they're called. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Renaissance fairs. And the bell tolls for Fedor Emelianenko. Immigrant mentality. There's Mario. And here comes the last emperor. You want to watch Fedor, David? Come on, come make a guest appearance for Fedor. Well, thank you, Mike D. I appreciate the subscription, man. Trying to get to 2,000 definitely helps. Thank you very much. Fedor always looks sad, says Cap. Okay, you guys write this down. You will not regret it. When you're done with this, go to a show called Tommy Toehold. And,
Tommy Toehold is great.
My favorite commentator. Well, thank you, Porsche 911. What was that one called? Breakfast with Fedor? He does a skit called Breakfast with Fedor, and it's the most hilarious freaking thing you'll ever see.
He got hit hard by the last couple like adpocalypse things.
Tommy did?
Yeah.
How do you know? Did he say?
No, but you can tell he has more.
Well, he's got sponsors. He's got sponsors, though.
Like, you can tell he doesn't spend as much time writing his skits.
He's had a sponsor. He's had DraftKings as a sponsor for a while.
Yeah.
Which, anybody out there that knows somebody that's looking to sponsor a great MMA channel, I happen to know somebody who runs an MMA commentary channel out of Lake Stevens, Washington, that's looking for some sponsors. So send them my way. Mike, who you got? If they lose, you chug beer. Deal? Deal. I got Fedor Emelianenko, the last Emperor, and I'm not losing. Come take a seat, son. This might be the last time that one of these guys fight, and they're both legends. Fedor, 36-5, 41 years old, 6 feet tall, weighing at 240. Frank Mir, 18-11, 38 years old, 6'3", 261.5. 76-inch reach for Fedor, 80-inch reach for Frank Mir. I want to see a birth certificate on Frank Mir. I don't believe that he's younger than me. I call bullshit. Mike D says,
my father then took a wheelchair down to the cage.
Porsche 911 says, I got Fedor by knockout. Mike D says, Fedor. Wow, nice. All right, have a seat, dude. Come get a chair, man. Yes. I heard that. All right, we got a guest appearance by Young David. You got to get in the camera. We can't see you.
Ken was pointing all the way over there.
Here, let's do this. Just do this. Just do this, and you can see where we are. Look, they can't see this screen here. That way you can see where you're at. You look like you're sneaking on me. This fight should be Stipe versus Fedor and Mir. Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, guys, this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting 15 freaking years for this fight. Oh, come on, David, you're not on the camera.
Well, how's that?
Get a chair.
I'm not on the camera over here either.
All right, it's fine. You got to talk, though. Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you pick? Frank Mir or Fedor?
Well, he wins the beard competition. This guy wins the beard competition.
Your camera is breaking up. Yeah, the stream is messed up. Yeah, I was having some issue with my internet earlier. I don't know if I'm just running too many damn things or what. It was kind of freezing a little bit a minute ago. Shit. It looks like it might be unfreezing now. It was freezing on my phone. I'm watching your guys' comments, and now it's not. So hopefully it'll be okay now. Come on, Bellator. I'm a nobody. Don't freeze my stream. All right, here we go. Frank Mir and Fedor Emelianenko, finally. Mir comes in the southpaw with a double jab there. Fedor standing back. Mir. Oh! Mir kick to the stomach and lands a 1-2 on Fedor. Fedor's down. Right hooks from Fedor. And from Mir. And Fedor flips Mir on his ass. Left hook from Fedor. Big right hand from Fedor. Nice knees to the stomach. Knee to the stomach from Mir. 30 seconds into this is not disappointing. Nice jab from Fedor. Jab. Oh, right hand. And they exchange shots. And the ball again. And Fedor! Excuse me. Emelianenko with the knockout.
Let's play a game.
Fedor the Emelianenko wins the Battle of the Champions. Former Pride versus UFC champion. R.I.P. Mir, says Mike D. Frank Mir, get the fuck out of here.
Damn, that was fast.
Menya says, I knew it. Fedor by KO, bro. I am happy, guys. I said, I don't have any hatred for Frank Mir, but I've been a big Fedor fan. since like the beginning of MMA. Well, since I didn't make anything off my stream, I can't afford my speakers. Sorry, Omar. Sorry, Mario. Frank Mir got knocked out one too many. Damn. I haven't picked a main event wrong in 20 years, swear. Mike. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that, Mike D. You haven't picked a lot of main events then.
Yeah.
That's right. Fedor, legend, living legend.
Fedor comes up under the arm with a smart shot. Here it is again. Boom. Look at that.
Damn.
That's what puts you out. This is what heavyweights are about. And this
You sound some wolf tickets there.
That was only a minute and a half, but that was a minute and a half of fury.
So has anything gone past? Has anything reached the second round?
I think every single fight tonight ended in the first round. Was there one fight that made it to the second round, guy? I think there was one fight that made it to the second round. Yeah, there was one that almost ended by submission. Wow, guys, that was incredible, and Fedor looked impressive. I know that was short, but he is in this. That was definitely, even though it was short, that was definitely the best fight so far in the heavyweight Grand Prix. I know everybody's excited. Everybody's so excited. You're going to get on Super Chat, and you're going to donate money to Fights of Friends. And to paypal.me/Fights of Friends. Right now. I'm waiting. I love you guys. Mike D says, Fedor is heavyweight GOAT. Stipe will be GOAT when all is said and done. I agree. Fedor's belly for the win, says Jason. Danny Jacobs, second round. On now. That's right. Cap said, cut the check. Cut the check. Poor Mir, says RS. Yeah, I feel bad for Mir, but I'm happy for Fedor. And, you know, I have a hard time believing that Mir wasn't dirty that time against Hunt, though. He looked dirty this time, so... I mean, I usually don't like to throw those accusations out there, but he's 38 years old, and he hasn't looked like that in 10 years, as far as the muscularity of his body. So who's fighting next in this Grand Prix? 2 weeks from now, next week, be here for the Triple G fight. The week after will be King Mo Law versus Ryan Bader. Yep, Bader versus Mo. Congratulations, Fedor Emelianenko. RS says Bader. That victory just put fear in everybody in this tournament. The last Emperor Fedor Emelianenko. 48 seconds of the first round. That was 48 of the most entertaining seconds you'll see in an MMA fight. Can't wait till you commentate Wilder versus Joshua. I was legitimately excited for him. I hope they put that fight together soon. Fedor says, I feel great joy and happiness. Thank God we won.
More than just punches in that. That was a very nice throw you took him to the ground with. He tried to reverse it. Did he hurt you at all in that fight?
He did have a nice throw.
I want to know about the finish. Did he hurt Fedor at all with any of his punches in that fight?
Got a translator there. Fedor's got better English than he lets on to, though. I don't know why he doesn't speak it more often.
We'll see. At the moment, I don't feel anything like being hurt.
So basically, he doesn't remember that at all.
You're right on that, Mario.
Yeah, it was a little bit on the ground.
It was a little bit on the ground. He said he's heard a little bit on the ground. So, honest guy, for sure. Oh, he will be fighting Chael the American Gangster Sonnen next.
All right, you suck. Just a quick comment. What'd you think?
I think the only thing I hate more than being right here in Chicago is being in this ring with you, and I assure you the next time I am, it will not be for long.
Chael's gonna talk big, but he hasn't finished a fighter since I was in high school. They shake hands and hug, but yeah, I think you're right. Great matchup for him. Chael's got great wrestling, of course. I think Fedor's size advantage is going to play to his strength, though. He's bigger than Rampage is, just naturally.
In a long, long time, and why not? And run into adversity here in America.
Minya says Sonnen is going to sleep. Chael looks bigger than ever. Well, he's got to make heavyweight now. I don't know why he said we will finish him. Yeah, I seriously don't remember Chael Sonnen ever finishing anyone ever. I'm sure he had a finish in the UFC, but if he did, I can't think of it. If Chael fights Fedor the same way he fought Rampage, he's done. Yeah, he fought a lackluster Rampage that just could not pull the trigger. Absolutely, Zoltan. That was a great fight card. I'm glad you guys shared that with me. That was by far the best Bellator card that I've ever seen. I think it's probably the best card that they've ever had. I haven't watched them all. Chael submitted Shogun. You're right, Jason. I forgot about that. Chael will fight Fedor like he fought Silva fight number 1. Chael was screwed. The problem is Fedor's a lot bigger guy. He's got great takedown defense. He's dangerous on the ground. And, yeah, Chael's screwed. Jason says in 2013, screwed. So he hasn't had a submission in 5 years. I thought it had been longer. I didn't realize that he had finished a fight this decade. Or this century. But I guess he got one. Nah, there's been better Bellator cards. I haven't watched as many Bellator cards, Cap, so I think it's the best one I've seen. Okay, it's the best one I've seen that didn't have Michael Chandler in it. Chael's last win by TKO was in 2007. So it wasn't even in this decade. Jesus, Jason. You see Chael talking shit? Oh, yeah. I see him.
There is no looking back. Next is what's important.
Does Chael kind of look like Spock right now?
Jay, I told you that before the fight. We've all known he was powerful. We've all known in the
Is he turning green? I swear, look at him. He kind of looks like Spock.
The power that he possesses, he creates a big problem. But he is what you just said for me. He is next.
Whatever happened to Brennan Ward? He was my favorite Bellator fighter. I don't know, man. Crazy Irish kid. I couldn't remember him. I think a wrestler kind of guy. I was not watching Bellator during. I watched very little of it during the tournaments. I watched very little of it prior to the Scott Coker era, which is pretty recent. In 2004, Chael has a win by flying knee, believe it or not. Well, that was another lifetime ago. My 17-year-old son was barely born in 2004, so Chael made the Vanderlei fight so boring, not even good ground and pound, just boring. Be careful, you might shrooms in your beer if Chael's turning green. No shrooms in my beer. I think he just called him Fedor. But yeah, I believe Chael's in a lot of trouble. And there's the update. Chael Sonnen, Fedor Emelianenko, Matt Mitrione, Ryan Bader, and King Mo Lawal have all made it through. Ryan Bader and King Mo fight next. The only fighters that have made it through are Chael Sonnen, Fedor, and Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione will fight the winner of King Mo Lawal and Ryan Bader. And then it's down to 4. After that fight, it's down to 4 guys. So these guys, Fedor and Chael Sonnen, are in the final 4. Matt Mitrione's in the final 4, and whoever wins between King Mo Lawal and Ryan Bader. It's only an 8-man tournament. So in the finals, it would be Fedor versus King Mo or Bader or Mitrione. I think it's Fedor versus Mitrione rematch. Honestly, that's the way I see it going. That's what I'm calling right now. Chael was GOAT trash talker, but that's about it. He does a great job having a podcast. He does a great job of talking. He does a great job of commentating. He should not be fighting anymore. I love the guy. He's super entertaining. He is not an entertaining fighter whatsoever. I don't even want to see him fight for free. And you know how big a fight fan I am. It will come down to wrestling and stand-up. So everybody, please like and subscribe if you're new here. Please, anybody who does have any U.S. currency, cryptocurrency, I'll even take rocks like Charlie Brown if you just want to throw them in my bucket before you leave in the super chat there, or my PayPal, Fights with Friends, or paypal.me/Fights with Friends. But let's talk about Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. So Anthony Joshua's promoter came to Deontay Wilder and told him, and I watched this actually on YouTube. They were interviewing his promoter, so this is the legitimate offer. He told him $12.5 million is what we'll give you, because the fight's only going to create $50 million in overall revenue, and everybody's got to get paid. So $12.5 million is your cut. Deontay Wilder basically, said bullshit. And they came back to Anthony Joshua and said, you come back and fight in the States, we'll give Anthony Joshua $50 million. So we may see this in the States. Let's be real, none of these guys should be fighting anymore. Ryan Bader is still definitely a decent fighter. I don't know if he should be fighting at heavyweight. Definitely not done, though, I would say. Matt Mitrione, I don't think is done. Roy Nelson, he's pretty old. It's amazing how much money has changed the game for MMA and boxing. Yeah, for sure. I wonder how much these guys are getting paid in this tournament. I pretty much guarantee you that Fedor got the biggest paycheck. He's got to be the biggest draw on that. But yeah, Deontay Wilder, like I said, his promoter offered Anthony Joshua, he's saying $50 million. Oh, and here's an Ultimate Fighter Cage Fighting, if you're still watching this, she's on American Ninja Warrior.
I mean, I don't really enjoy getting hit, but it doesn't really faze me either.
So that's pretty sweet. She says she doesn't really enjoy getting hit. You don't say.
At the top level in MMA, and now I'm taken back to.
Anyways, Mars says Bellator allows sponsors, so that makes a difference. That makes a big difference. That makes a big difference. Wrap tonight up. Please don't forget to go to MMA Newsroom's channel. I'm going to paste it here again. Please just go on his channel if you're a subscriber there. Just give him your thoughts. Let him know that we're all thinking about him. He's a great guy. Like I said, a great advocate for MMA, for YouTube creators, and even a better person. He's in the hospital. He's in a lot of pain right now. He's got a lot of injuries. He may not even be able to answer you back right away. He's been emailing me about 1 email a day. Hopefully, it might be another week or so, but hopefully we get him back on the stream. The goal is that he's on the stream on May 5th on Saturday. So if you just send your thoughts and prayers out to Dutch Guy, that would be much appreciated. And go to his channel, let him know that we're thinking about him, we care about him. You know, he's like family to the channel. So Cool Georgie says that was the most disappointing fight. I loved that fight. It was quick, but I mean, how do you get 48 better seconds than that? That's pretty great 48 seconds, if you ask me. So, but like I was saying, hopefully we get Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua soon. I'm thinking $50 million is a lot closer than 12.5. Deontay Wilder's definitely not fighting for $12.5 million. That's just not the fighting landscape we're in right now. Yeah, it was insane, but I expected a lot more. Fedor fights are almost always quick. There's so much going on. I think Wilder's lack of defensive skills will be an issue with AJ, and Fury is just too crazy. Tyson Fury is just a different animal. I don't even know if he's going to get in good enough shape to get back in there, but wanted to see them both stand up and brawl it out. Well, they did for 48 seconds, man. They're heavyweights. That's what happens when heavyweights hit each other, is people go down. And honestly, I kind of had a little bit of an idea going into this that Mir just wanted one more check. Tyson Fury is a giant. Tyson Fury is huge right now. I heard, though, he went in to training camp. He decided he wanted to come back. He went in there 400 pounds, hadn't sparred in forever, into the gym where everybody was training, and just started completely whooping everybody's ass. Fury is in good shape at the moment. Have you seen pictures by any chance? No, I haven't. I know he was 400 pounds not very long ago, though. So some of those guys can lose a ridiculous amount of weight in a very short amount of time, though. So, I mean, that would be very, very quickly. But, yes, please, anybody who's not subscribed here, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Maybe you get notifications when I do live events. Let's talk about next week. We got the Cinco de Mayo fight. Triple G fighting the King of Burgers. That creepy Burger King dude. So that should be a knockout for Triple G. And then, of course, the next week we got the next round of the Bellator tournament. King Mo Law and Ryan Bader. What I'm looking forward to probably even more, though, Vasil Lomachenko versus Sergio Linares. With Sergio, that's going to be an incredible matchup. Two of the best pound-for-pound fighters. That fight's basically for best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet in boxing. My friend searched up a recent picture of Fury. He looks like a tank. I will have to check it out. If he's in good shape, that's news. That's news to me, but he may be. Linares is out of his prime, says Cap. He's got a lot of fights. I'm still looking forward to the fight, though. Anytime Vasyl Lomachenko. He's definitely one of my favorite boxers out there right now. Him and Deontay Wilder would be my two favorite fighters, I think, that are in the game right now. But, yeah, like I said, Triple G fights next week on the 5th. The 12th, lot of stuff. Ryan Bader and King Mo Lawal, Linares and Lomachenko. And then the hits just keep coming. May, there's a lot of stuff in May. I'll post a schedule for May, I promise. I did post one for April. If anybody's seen it, look out for the schedules. I'm trying to post monthly schedules of the streams. I did miss the Kevin Lee Barbosa fight, of course, last week, but I will try to post everything for May, and if I post it on there for May, I promise I will be there. I don't know anything about that guy replacing Canelo. Who the fuck is that guy? He's the Burger King dude. He's the creepy Burger King dude. You guys have seen him. He was just on a commercial in the halftime. Lomachenko needs to fight Mikey Garcia. That would be an incredible fight. Or Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's fighting here pretty soon, too. I want to say like May 26th, May 25th. Towards the end of the month. Terrence Crawford's fighting in a Saturday in May, I'm pretty sure. Those are the guys that will beat him. He's only got 11 fights. So possibly, I'd love to see him fight Mikey Garcia or Terrence Crawford. I haven't seen enough of Errol Spence. I'm going to check him out. I think if Wilder game up against AJ or Fury, he'd buckle. His style is just too wild. That's what people said about him against Luis Ortiz, though. I think he definitely has some stylistic matchups problems against Fury. Possibly against Anthony Joshua. I would take Anthony Joshua against Deontay Wilder. I'm honestly not real excited about a Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight. If it comes down to people have to defend their belts, we might have to see it. Crawford is fighting Jeff Horn, which is the guy who beat Pacquiao. That's right. Isn't Pacquiao fighting here soon, too? Cap, I thought I seen he... Is there another Pacquiao out there? His son fighting or something? I think it was on boxing schedule thing, and it said Manny Pacquiao, or it said Pacquiao fighting on ESPN. But I definitely don't think Manny Pacquiao is fighting on ESPN. Manny Pacquiao is actually, he's got his next fight. This is from April 3rd off of CBS Boxing. Pacquiao was linked to a hopeful top rank on ESPN card this April with Terrence Crawford against Jeff Horn, the man who recently defeated Pacquiao, facing off in the main event. Talks of that bout broke down with Pacquiao and top-ranked promoter Bob Arum trading some verbal jabs about what the boxer was going to do next. It's on. Can't wait to challenge Lucas Mathis for another world title on July 15th in Kuala, Malaysia. July 14th, U.S. time. Pac-Man is back. So apparently Manny Pacquiao will be fighting July 15th. Terrence Crawford will be fighting before that on ESPN card. A lot of good ESPN cards coming up soon too. If you just Google ESPN boxing. Shoot, I was just thinking, is that HBO card over yet, Cap? Danny Jacobs fighting on HBO right now. Let's go over there. I got HBO. All right, guys, give me just a second. Thank you, Cap, for the update. Hey, David.
Yeah.
Can you bring me my iPad and go plug this phone in, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. This is Dad.
actually dead.
Oh yeah, it's definitely dead, son.
Who's your... Okay. Oh yeah, Bill, you're streaming from the computer.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we got Daniel Jacobs here then. Here we go. Nobody leave. We got HBL Boxing. Jacobs and Selecki. 8th round here. Jacobs in the black, Selecki in the white. If you're wanting to watch along, go to HBO. Nice jabs from Jacobs. Oh, nice left hook. Big right hand from Selecki. Oh, big combinations from Selecki. Big left hook for Jacobs. Selecki lands a couple jabs there. 20 seconds left in the 8th round. Nice combination from Selecki. He lands a 1-2 and a hook there. 10 seconds. Oh, big right hand over the top from Jacobs. Oh, another nice left hook from Jacobs. Good exchanges in the middle of the ring there. Big right hand and a left hook to end the round for Jacobs. So, great end of the round there. Of course, we weren't able to see the first 7 3/4 rounds, but here we are in the 9th round. There's a corner for Jacobs. He's telling him be sharp and effective. He says, jab your way in. Of course, everybody's going to see Frank Mir versus Fedor on the live stream, but that's fine. And Roy Jones Jr. commentating. Gotta love Roy. All right, here we go. Body shots, total landed. Only 17 for Jacobs and 5 for Selecki. So almost all head hunting here. I haven't seen a scorecard yet, RS. Yeah, it's round 9. Oh, here we go. 78-74, Jacobs over Selecki on Letterman's card. Selecki with the jab there. Selecki throws a 1-2, just misses that right hand. 2.5 minutes left in the 9th round. Nice left hook, gets through for Selecki. On a jab. Jacobs lands a jab there. Selecki lands a jab to the body. Selecki's corner was screaming at him to go to the body. On the last round, he was not doing it. Right hand for Selecki, and they tie up. At least according to Letterman, Selecki either needs to sweep the rest of the card or get a knockout. He lands a couple jabs there. Jacobs lands a double jab, and they clinch in the center of the ring. You think Billy Joe Sanders has a chance against Triple G if the fight was to happen? Probably not. Johnny Jacobs was the only guy to go 12 rounds of Triple G's before Canelo did. A lot of people think Jacobs beat Triple G. Damn. Oh, nice left hook to the body for Selecki there. Finally listens to the corner, and then he lands a jab. Nice jump left hook from Jacobs. 1.5 left in the 9th round here. Jab lands for Selecki. Right hand over the top, and a left lands for Selecki. Jacobs lands a right uppercut and a left hook. Selecki lands the right hand. Roy Jones just said Jacobs is starting to fade. Or maybe he says Selecki. Left uppercut and a left hook over the top from Selecki. Another left hook over the top from Selecki. Jacobs with the jab there. Oh, nice uppercut from Jacobs there. 50 seconds left in the 9th round. Oh, beautiful right uppercut from Jacobs. And lands a nice jab there. Selecki misses with an uppercut and they clinch. 40 seconds left in the 9th round. Oh, nice left hook lands there for Jacobs. Oh, and the right uppercut. Oh, and he digs to the body, and Selecki comes over the top with the right hand. Beautiful exchanges. Punches lands in this round, though. 18 for Jacobs, 9 for Selecki. Jacobs just landed another right hand and a jab there. 15 seconds left in the 9th round. Nice right uppercut. Oh, and a couple of body shots for Jacobs. Ref says keep him up. That one looked a little low. You never know, though. These boxers. Oh, and they exchange. Oh, nice shoe shine to the body from Danny Jacobs. You don't see that a lot anymore in the pros. Mostly in the amateurs. I don't know any of the guys, but I'm going with the Polish. When in doubt, bet on Polish. That's the rule. Polish people are the hardest working people in the world. That's fine. Thanks again for the shout-out, Cap. Do you know if Mir broke Fedor's nose? It looked like it, but wasn't too sure. I don't know. He didn't say anything about it. So like he was talking big shit before the fight. Damn. Well, according to Harold Letterman, who's usually pretty close to on, he's losing the fight. So these fighters keep their trunks so high. I have literally seen fighters that have had their trunks so damn high, though, I swear they've touched their nipples. You can't even tell if half these guys have abs. They keep their trunks so high. So it can be hard to tell when there's a low blow. It's true. I've been in Poland and have Polish friends from my fencing days. They were the hardest working guys in the whole fencing world. All right, here we go. A couple jabs from Selecki to open the 10th round. Jacobs lands a left hook there. They exchange jabs in the middle of the ring there. Another round for Jacobs on Letterman's scorecard. He's got an 88-83 for Jacobs. It was very close until these last two rounds on Letterman's card, at least. Right hook and a left hand for Selecki. Oh, nice combination head body for Jacobs, and they clinch. 2:15 left in the 10th round. That was a hard sounding shot from Selecki, but nothing really there. Oh, nice counter right hand from Selecki there. Jacobs says bring it. 2 minutes left in the 10th round. Jab from Selecki and they clinch. Oh, Selecki lands a nice jab there. Right hand out of Selecki. For Selecki, we are in Jacobs' home crowd, as Roy Jones was just pointing out. A minute and a half left in the 10th round. Nice left hook from Jacobs. Oh, beautiful combination in the body for Jacobs. He looks to be taking away another round here. Jab for Selecki. I believe Roy was talking about Selecki fading. Selecki missed some punches there. Lands a left hook, though. Throws a combination. Jacobs blocks most of that. Selecki gets a jab through there. Oh, and they both exchange hooks in the middle of the ring. Less than a minute left in the 10th round. Triple jab, a hook, and another triple jab for Jacobs, and it all misses, though. And there he lands a jab. Jacobs misses a ripping uppercut there. Selecki throws an uppercut and a hook. Misses both of them. Jacobs with the jab. A lot of times boxing judges will give guys a lot of credit for activity even when they're not landing punches. Jacobs lands the jab. Selecki left hook over the top. Total punches landed as Jacobs 155, Selecki 105 for the fight. And they exchange hooks in the middle of the ring. 15 seconds left in the 10th round. Oh, beautiful left hook off the jab from Jacobs. 5 seconds. Another left hook for Jacobs. And he ducks under a couple hooks from Selecki at the end of the round. And we will go into the championship rounds. Round number 11 is coming up. And we still got 20 people in here. Well, thank you. I'm not sure why so many thumbs down tonight. I guess an MMA hole's found the stream. Hey, look, I have an ad over the top. Somebody buy some. Don't you guys have some clothes to buy? I'm still surprised by Fedor's KO, says RS. I'm not. That's exactly what I expected. I'm a little excited. I'm a little surprised it happened so quickly, but I thought that's what was going to happen. Nice left uppercut from Jacobs, and Selecki lands a double jab over the top. Letterman gave Selecki that last round, has it 97-93. And of course, Triple G's fight will be here on HBO next week. Jacobs lands a jab and Selecki holds on. 2.5 minutes left in the 11th round. Nice counter right over Selecki. If Selecki wins these last couple rounds, these scorecards could get really interesting. Nice double jab for Selecki. He lands a right hook and clinches in the middle of the ring. Strategic clinch. 2:10 left in the 11th round. Nice left hook to the body for Jacobs. Jacobs seems to be slowing down these last couple rounds, so he might have taken the last round off. Nice right hand over the top, for Jacobs over the top of Selecki's jab. Selecki lands another jab there, and a 1-2 and a right hook. Selecki might be winning this round again. Minute 40 left in the 11th round. Oh, Jacobs a couple left hooks to the body. Oh, and they exchange hooks in the middle of the ring. Those were hard shots. Less than a minute and a half left in the 11th round. Exchange hooks in the middle of the ring again. Jacobs throwing a couple jabs and trying to get some more head movement going. Somebody's eye's bleeding. Oh, nice left hook over the top for Selecki. I heard that one. That was a hard shot, and a left uppercut over the top for Selecki. Minute left in the 11th round. Jacobs may be a little tired now. Right hand over the top for Selecki. This is in Jacobs' hometown, and just remember that boxing judges are just as crooked as MMA judges, times 10. Right hand for Selecki. 35 seconds left in the 11th. Nice jab and a left hook for Jacobs. Selecki lands a left hook. Total punches landed, or total punches thrown, excuse me. 571 for Selecki, 544 for Jacobs. Jacobs the more accurate puncher. Selecki lands a 1-2 in the middle of the ring and a right hand there. Nice left hook to the body. 10 seconds left in the 11th as they clinch. Let's see if somebody rallies here at the end. Right hand over the top for Selecki and a left hook to the body. That may have been Selecki's round. This could be getting very close. What's going on, Dean? How you doing, man? We are watching some boxing. It says Fedor versus Frank Mir, but that is over, and we are watching Jacobs versus Selecki on HBO Boxing. Thanks for tuning in, man. Cool George Stetson saying he must have caught him very well with that tiny hit. Fedor fights with his hands down, swings hard and fast. It's crazy. Jason, who has more MMA fights than Jeremy Horn? 92, 22, and 5. Dang. Cap says, what's up, Dean? Cool George, he fights through punches. It's crazy. Yeah, he does. Going into round 12, if Danny Jacobs don't get knocked out, he'll win the fight, says Cap. Good to hear and see you too. Hear from you and see you, Dean. Oh, nice weather in Eastern. It was nice weather here until today. It rained just a little bit. I think Fedor beats Chow. I think so too. Fedor has a good takedown defense. You just saw the judo throw. That judo throw an hour ago, and he has very good subs from guard too. Oh, big right hand from Danny Jacobs, and Selecki is on the ground, and that should pretty much solidify this victory for Danny Jacobs. Let's see how hurt Selecki is. Oh, Jacobs, big left hook, another left hook. He might move him for the kill. Selecki's throwing combinations to the body to prove he's not hurt. But Jacobs landing some more power shots, a couple more left hooks there. Oh, he's winging right hand. He needs to be careful and make sure he doesn't get caught by anything coming in. But I think Selecki was hurt. 2 minutes left in the 12th round. Big left hook for Jacobs and a right. 2 minutes left. Oh, and a big combination for Selecki. Left hook there for Selecki. He might be shaking the cobwebs off there. Left hook to the body. Nice right hand from Jacobs and a left hook. But you start shaking those cobwebs off and you get hit by another hard shot and they come right back. Another big right hand from Danny Jacobs. Oh, beautiful combination of the body for Jacobs. 1.5 in the 12th. Oh, and these guys saved the best for last. Nice 1-2 for Selecki. Big right hand over the top for Selecki. Good stamina from these guys. They exchange hooks. Big hooks from Danny Jacobs. He's putting all his weight into these hooks. He really wants that knockout. 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the 12th. Jacobs goes for a big overhand right and misses, and Selecki eats him with a combination back. 1 minute left in the 12th round. Selecki lands a couple straight jabs there. Oh, Jacobs lands a big right uppercut and a right hook. Jacobs expended a lot of energy in the first couple minutes of that round. Misses an uppercut and a hook. Selecki lands a right hand over the top and a left hook. Jacobs misses a big left hook. 40 seconds left in the fight. Nice 1-2 for Selecki. Left hook to the body for Jacobs. That might have hurt Selecki. Big left hook there for Jacobs and a right hand over the top. Selecki continuing to throw back though. And Jacobs throws a left hook and a right hand. They're both going for the knockout. Of course, Selecki probably needs it. Jacobs just wants it. Jacobs blocks the 1-2. Oh, and they exchange hooks in the middle of the ring. Big left hook for Selecki there. Big right hand at the bell for Jacobs. And it looks like Danny Jacobs should have won on the scorecards, especially with that knockdown there at the end. That's why you read comment in between rounds. I barely caught it out of the corner of my eye. I caught the shot cap. Just barely. What's up, Bernie Bodyguard? Spanish guys showed the fight while they talked. This sucks. All right, well, I'll go elsewhere then. What's the biggest comeback in boxing where a guy is losing in scorecards and wins by KO in the last round? I believe that would be Rocky Marciano versus Ezzard Charles. 15th round. Rocky Marciano was down on all scorecards, knocked Ezzard Charles out in the 15th round. Caps, I don't know, RS, that's something you would have to Google. Jacob should have won. I'm pretty sure it's got to be Rocky Marciano. And I believe it was against Ezzard Charles. He had a couple fights, though, where he was losing and pulled out knockouts in the final rounds of the fight. 49-0, he retired. Okay, camera's on you enough. Get the fuck out of here, Bernie. Bernie, get the fuck out of here. I haven't done that in a while.
Let's take a look at Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard. Harold, how'd you wind up?
Okay, Jim, I got a 116, 111, 8 rounds to 4, Danny Jacobs. I gave him an extra point for taking Solinsky off his feet in the 12th round, you know? That became a 10-8 round.
All right, we'll see what these scorecards have for us.
116, 111.
You never know. Should be Danny Jacobs, and being in his hometown, I imagine. I don't expect him to get screwed on the scorecards. 2 of the judges are from New York, one's from New Jersey. Corrales versus Castillo, best comment. That was a great fight. Those were some of my favorite fights. Corrales versus Castillo. Questionable stoppage, even though Diego Corrales was one of my all-time favorite fighters. Two of my 4 favorite boxers ever, probably. One of them, it's thought that Corrales committed suicide. Arturo Gatti, it had been thought. It's now 117 to 110. 117, 110. 15 to 112. All 3 scores to the winner. 115, 112. Danny Jacobs. Yeah, Diego Corrales is definitely one of my favorites, though. Corrales and Castillo, great fights. He also had a great trilogy with Joel Casamayor. He was one of those guys that would give one to take one. He put on some entertaining fights. Him and Arturo Gatti. I said 2 of my favorite 4 fighters, at least of the guys that fought during my lifetime that I was able to watch live. Tyson Jones, Arturo Gatti, and Diego Corrales. Diego Corrales, unfortunately, on the anniversary, I believe it was on the anniversary of that fight against Castillo, he drove his motorcycle 80 miles an hour on the opposite side of the road to his death. Not to rain on the parade. But what's up, Victor's Games? But yeah, legend. Absolutely, Diego Corrales. Absolute legend. He put on some great fights. So did Castillo, Jose Castillo, and that was an incredible fight. Anybody who hasn't seen that fight should look that up on YouTube. Also look up Diego Corrales versus Joel Casamayor. What's going on, Victor Games? We just finished watching some boxing now. HBO boxing. Danny Jacobs just beat Selecki.
I think we abandoned the jab a little bit, but other than that, trying to go for the knockout because I know the fans wanted a good show. But at the end of the day,
So,
I thought I did very well to grab a unanimous decision.
We're going to look at the knockdown in a second, but
good night of fights.
He came out and he showed you he had skills, and you seemed to adjust and say, "No, I'm an elite fighter."
Definitely good night of fights. So who's next? Who's next for him, Cap? You know boxing probably better than I do.
Back at you by late in the fight, it seemed that this could be closer on the scorecards, maybe than it was anticipated.
Max Kellerman. I remember Max Kellerman was on ESPN forever.
Well, I keep a dialogue with my cornerman.
Who do you think's next for Danny Jacobs, Cap?
They told me I was up.
Yeah, definitely a good win for him.
If I pick up the pace, maybe I can get a knockout, but definitely get a decision.
Here's the knockdown. Tell me what you see.
The explosion of something called the race.
Cap says Charlo.
He was throwing his right hand.
So we got a lot of good boxing coming up. We got, like I said, we got Triple G coming up next week. Lemachenko and Linares is coming up in the next month. Terrence Crawford is fighting next month. May's got a lot of big boxing. There's a Japanese that I've seen fight, and he's pretty high on rankings. There's a 108-pound Japanese guy that's hasn't lost in a long time, I believe. If he has, he might have lost here recently. I know he hadn't lost in a long time. I think straw weight.
We also saw, and I noticed that third, fourth round, you started breaking out some of these old school moves you were talking
it's nice to see somebody, Daniel Jacobs here, being respectful of his opponent. It's kind of sad we have to say that a lot of times now. As so many guys talking trash about their opponents, win, lose, or draw. Something Murata. He has same division as Triple G. Oh, nice. They showed who Triple G was fighting, but I missed it. It was very quick.
Okay, you have been joined with a couple of middleweights. This is suddenly a stacked division. Charlo and
yeah, certain things like this
Billy
this.
Joe Saunders, and of course
Those don't
Triple
take,
G and Canelo. What are
energy,
your thoughts?
but
Who do
yeah.
you want?
He's saying Triple G and Canelo, but that's not who Triple G is fighting.
That takes
But if we can't go and get those
Ryota Murata, he had a loss or a draw last year. That was the biggest robbery of the year. SI, he is undefeated and very technically sound.
you know what it is.
Thanks, Daniel. Congratulations. Jim?
Roy, he always shows
Nice.
his intelligence and his presence.
Okay, here we go.
He shows us his competitiveness as well.
Golovkin versus,
So,
that's right, Martirosyan.
I love a fighter that wants to prove
However you say that name.
king of the hill in his weight division. He don't care who comes to the bottom of the hill, just sit him up and
I'm not sure, but yeah, Triple G's fighting Martirosyan at the StubHub Center in Carson, California. Too bad it's not Canelo Alvarez, but I'm sure they will fight down the road for sure. Oops. And another drop mic. Mic drop. I love listening to Roy Jones talk.
Thank you, brother. Turn to Max Kellerman. Max, next Saturday.
Isn't Triple G versus Canelo happening? No, Canelo failed the drug test, dude. Twice. And I believe he's having shoulder surgery. So, and HBO will televise its first women's fight ever on May 5th. I can't believe all these years HBO was just televising their first women's fight. Just for over 4 decades, HBO has been televising boxing. Not once have they televised a woman's fight. Wow. That is very surprising. Yep, he called Charlo out, so Jacobs versus Charlos will be great. Me too. Roy Jones Jr. is a very good commentator. Yeah, I love listening to him. That guy was, I mean, obviously he was built to fight, but he was built to talk too. I mean, he's great. I used to love listening to George Foreman commentate. I don't know that he's been doing it recently. He's getting pretty old, but a lot of knowledge there. And Roy Jones. MMA women's is doing pretty good compared to boxing. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a lot of interest in female boxing right now. Definitely a lot in female MMA, though. Just 1 second. I'm going to grab some right back, guys.
George Foreman knocking out more. It happened, right? And that's probably Jim's down goes Frazier moment. And also Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Arturo Gatti refusing to go down as Mickey Ward pounds away. Vicious body shots by Gatti.
oh, each one of those guys.
Come on, let's fight.
We've seen Jim get choked up many times on an HBO broadcast, and it's not for show. It's because he gave.
Myself, I got a 16-year-old daughter in here somewhere, and I'm looking to be sure that she's safe. You'll recognize Juan Manuel Marquez. It was a thrilling victory for Marquez, regardless of which fighter you root for.
This would be the most satisfying moment of Oscar De La Hoya's career. If he could fight Fernando Vargas, eat his words. If he could knock him out, and he does. And somebody in a parachute had just...
Sorry, had to dispose of my beer, guys. I think that last beer got me. Yeah, Foreman commentating was hilarious, the way the guy talks. I love that guy. Referee is the most important person in the ring after the fighters, George Foreman. Cap, it's sad, though. Women's boxing's got some killers. Carissa Shield, a monster. She's the one who trains with Cyborg on the regular. Holly Holm was one of the best ever. Ali, Layla Ali, she was charismatic like her father. Maybe not as much so as her father, but probably the most charismatic female fighter there's ever been. Obviously, she's got it in the blood. Oh, they're showing like some greatest moments in boxing here. brings back some memories for me. I've been watching HBO boxing for a long. Oh my God, Harold Letterman. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They just showed a picture of him though. He looks so old. I was watching him back in the day, and they're showing Julio Cesar Chavez winning. I remember when he was 88-0. Holly Holm, Heather Hardy. Yep.
More than anyone else can tell you, I really hope there's another 30, because this job, the job I do when sitting next
People have been saying. I remember being a kid, 10, 12 years old, even before MMA really got big. They were saying boxing's dead. This is the fight that could save boxing. It was always the fight that could save boxing. Like boxing needs saved. Like it was going to die anytime. This year, boxing is as big as it's been in a long time. There's a lot of talent out there. I was out of it. I was out of boxing, and I'm definitely back in. I'm definitely back in. Looks great right now.
I get it. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much, Roy. I understand now why the stage manager before the fight tonight, Karen Batillo, was talking about the right here on my lap thing with Hasim Rahman. I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah, basically
right here on my
lap. Because we walked down the whole thing.
Sure. Let's go for another 30. Thanks for being with us on this edition of World Championship Boxing.
He says, let's go for another 30. All right, well, that great night of fights, guys. Again, to wrap it up, almost every single fight on the Bellator card ended in the first round. I think every single one ended by submission, except for the last fight. Congratulations to the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko, knocking out Frank Mir. R.I.P. Frank Mir. No, I think boxing benefits from MMA. MMA attracts fans from out-of-combat sports that end up watching boxing too. Oh, absolutely, RS. Boxing has really, or MMA has really helped boxing recently, which cracks me up why these boxing guys want to talk so much smack about MMA. And the MMA guys, they could do it all day. They could be, hey, you know what? You're fighting 10% of a fight. If you really want to compare it like that. I mean, I don't think of it like that. But you can. I mean, boxing, I love boxing. Boxing's a sport. MMA is a fight. And when you talk about it like that, you could make boxing look very bad. Yep, Golovkin versus Martirosyan. 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific next week. That's going to be a lot of fun on Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, they've definitely benefited. And you've had some idiots in boxing. You really haven't had so many people in MMA, luckily, talk smack. Which is smart. It's smart. I believe it's smart. But, you know, they need each other. They should work together off each other. Not, you know, I realize not everybody in boxing is Adrian Broner, the asshole. I did go back and watch that fight, though. Cap, I watched Adrian Broner versus Jesse Garcia, just hoping to watch Adrian Broner get his jaw broken, but it didn't happen. If Broner had fought for that entire fight, he probably would have actually won. Instead, it ended up being a draw. Yes, if you want to see high-level boxing, you tune into boxing fights instead of watching MMA fighters box. Exactly, RS. I'm just saying what people could say. Obviously, I enjoy both sports on, you know, very much, on a very high level. A lot more childhood memories, really, for me from boxing. I was on my uncle's couch when George Foreman knocked out Michael Moorer. When Vinny Pazienza fought Roberto Duran. When Roy Jones Jr. won his middleweight championship. Or super middleweight, won his first championship. Roy Jones fought James Toney. That was an incredible fight. And everybody thought Roy Jones, that was kind of Roy Jones' coming out party, was against James Toney. James Toney was ranked, he was thought pretty much by everybody to be the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Nobody's going to touch this guy. And Jones came out, and I believe he won every single round. If it wasn't every round, he knocked James Toney down. I think he won by 13, 14 points on some cards. And it was billed as the Battle of the Undefeateds. James Toney, like I said, best pound-for-pound ever, and Roy Jones absolutely annihilated him. And that was, you know, it's really his coming out party outside of, you know, the Olympic gold medal round that the gold medal he should have won. The fight he rightfully won.
Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching me. Return.
So,
Hope you don't think that's
anyways, 3.5 hours in, I think we're going to go out and possibly watch a movie. It's getting pretty late here. But RS says, I love watching old boxing fights, black and white. Guys like Sugar Ray Robinson, Marciano, Sonny Liston. Something magical on watching those boxers from ages ago. It seems so Rocky style. You watch much Jack Dempsey or Floyd Patterson? Those guys. Jack Dempsey was really that guy. They call it the Jack Dempsey roll, and he was really the first guy to put his entire body into punches. Mike Tyson actually studied him. He took his style after him, kind of after you know, him and Floyd Patterson. Yes, those two. Yeah. Yeah, Sonny Liston was obviously awesome. Sugar Ray Leonard, it was later on, but during the 80s, that was the great time of the middleweights. And that's how I compare the UFC. I think of the UFC, the 145 and 155 pound position divisions, it's almost like one division right now. There's so much talent between those. And I think of those like the 80s middleweights, when you had Thomas Hearns, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. Those guys are great. Sugar Ray Leonard, by the way, super nice guy. I met him in Yakima, Washington. He was at an ESPN fight. They were calling it for a while. I think it was just about a year. They were calling it Sugar Ray Leonard Presents ESPN Boxing, and he was there signing autographs forever. I shook his hand, but it was great. The first day he came out, they were having a press conference and everything, and they're just having it in this park in Yakima, and there's all these guys moving lights out, and they're setting up stages, and they're doing things, and some guy crosses the stage, literally in red sweatpants and a t-shirt, and he's walking around, and all of a sudden somebody kind of taps him and goes over them, and they grab a microphone. It's Sugar Ray Leonard. He'd walked up there in street clothes, I mean real casual clothes, and we barely even recognized him. Of course, day of the fight, he was in a suit, but he stayed and signed autographs forever. I wish I would have brought a boxing magazine with me, but I did get his autograph. That was, I don't know if you guys remember him, that's Angel Manfredi was fighting back then. I was an Angel Manfredi fan, and he was fighting Lamar Murphy. His fight, it was actually in Toppenish, Washington, on an Indian reservation, right outside of Yakima, Washington. RS says those guys earn pocket changes for fighting. It's so surreal. It's kind of peaceful watching those guys that are not alive now fighting the same sport but in a different time in history and culture. It's like the world changes, but boxing is still boxing. Yep. Exactly. Some of those guys used to fight guys that were 100 pounds bigger than them, too.
So this game has like
Jack Dempsey did, I believe. I believe at 185 pounds he knocked out guys that were close to 300 pounds. I believe if you want to watch some great fights with Rocky Marciano, I believe it was a 14 or 15 round knockout. I just thought of it too. Was Jersey Joe Walcott.
We could call it sun fracking.
That guy was an incredible fighter, and him and Rocky Marciano had some wars. Marciano had some wars with a lot of people, and he lost a lot of rounds. He went into a lot of championship rounds, and back then, of course, it was 15 rounds, so everything past the 12th was a championship round. And he went into a lot of times past that 12th round down on the scorecards and came up with a knockout to win, to go 49-0. And then, unfortunately, a couple years after retired, he died in a plane crash. But he was also, might have been one of the first practitioners of keto and intermittent fasting. But he didn't consider it as that. He trained all day on no food. He ate one meal at night. He ate a steak and a potato during training, and that's it. He trained boxing underwater. He trained with like big sledgehammers. He trained with tires, kind of some of the things that we see guys picking up again now. Some of the stuff you see on it, things that were similar to kettlebells. Guy was really, really revolutionary, and he pretty much did. They didn't have the camps of a bunch of different fighters, to trade exchange with there. Basically, most of his training techniques were his own. Marciano didn't have very good technique, but his raw power and aggressiveness made up for it. It's crazy. It makes boxing look so simple. You're right, RS. That's why I compare Marciano and Deontay Wilder. I said that's one of the reasons I enjoy watching Deontay Wilder so much, because he kind of reminds me of Rocky Marciano. And in the Luis Ortiz fight, obviously he was down. He'd been knocked down. He was down on all the scorecards, and he needed the knockout, or at least a couple knockdowns. And he came back with the fury when he realized it was on the line, and pulled it out. Oh yeah, much different height. And Marciano was only 185 pounds. Oh, excuse me. Although Deontay Wilder is a very small heavyweight, I want to say he came in at 212 for the Luis Ortiz fight. I believe he's fought it recently as low as 208. He does not come in very heavy. He's kind of wiry for a heavyweight, but just jaw-dropping power.
Which is a form of policing that puts police officers.
And that's why, Anthony Joshua might be a better fighter. Maybe he wins it. I'm just highly entertained by Deontay Wilder, more so than, as far as power, more so than anybody in the game. As far as boxing right now, Vasil Lomachenko is my guy. As far as straightforward fighting, I like the two guys that were supposed to fight here recently, Triple G and Canelo Alvarez.
But when a police department uses the community as a prop to make itself look good,
we'll see that fight eventually. Do you think there should be a heavyweight limit like in MMA?
Wichita police officer.
I don't see the harm in it. I really don't think that a guy needs to be getting inside a ring that's over 300 pounds. I wouldn't think that would be a bad limit. I don't think 265 is unreasonable. And look how big Brock is. He drops from 330. So, I definitely wouldn't have an issue with the 300-pound limit. 265 should be makeable. But there's a lot of heavyweight guys. Tyson fought a lot of guys that were 280. I believe maybe even as much as 290. When he was, in between 210 and 225 pounds. Most of his career. It wasn't until those last few years of his career that he came in in the high 220s, 230s. I think he might have been at 240 at his heaviest. And he was really done before the Lennox Lewis fight. I remember watching, sadly, the demise of Mike Tyson, and in the build-up to that Lennox Lewis fight, I mean, he did very well. He went out on a shield. He fought his heart out with what skills he had left and what he had trained for, but he was not on Lennox Lewis's level anymore. And after that, you'd see his heart just went out of boxing. I think heavyweights in MMA shouldn't have a limit. Heavyweights are supposed to be the strongest no matter the weight. What do you think about an extra weight class, though? I wouldn't mind seeing a 225. Because, honestly, I think there's a point that a guy like John Jones ends up having an issue making 205. And to say that a 210 guy should be fighting a 265-pound guy, I don't know. Why not a 225? Maybe you have a 225, and then you have a 250, and then everything over. And maybe you have no limit. I don't know that we're really missing out on any athletes that could really be great that are over 300 pounds, though. And just historically, those guys just have really not stood up real well in those kinds of fights. Brock Lesnar, might be that difference. Shaquille O'Neal was kind of that difference in basketball. He had much less knee injuries and different things for a guy his height. A lot of it because he was height weight proportionate. There should be a weight class with no upper limit. There's supposed to be a class where they are the real best in the world. If they're over 250 or over 265, I don't have a problem with that.
So the ROPE program stands for Resident Officer Police of Elton. It's a police officer who lives in a neighborhood.
Like I said, I don't know if any of those guys are going to really be the best in the world, but yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Helping the community improve. You work with residents.
I mean, look at the super heavyweights we've had in boxing now. Post Tyson, the Klitschko's came in, always in the 250s because they were so tall, 6'6", 6'7". And I remember the night Lennox Lewis fought Vitaly Klitschko, and the Klitschkos were not very well known. That was a great fight. Vitaly Klitschko started coming in, and a lot of people thought he was beating Lennox Lewis, and the fight ended up being stopped on a cut. Lennox Lewis won by technical decision because Vitaly Klitschko could not continue because of the cut. Lennox Lewis would never sign on for that rematch, and I believe he retired after that. I don't think he ever fought again after that. RS says, I think over 230 doesn't make a difference, too much weight, just slows you down and don't have power. Definitely most of the time I would agree. But Lewis was winning that fight. Lewis was winning that fight. It was close. A lot of people thought that Vitaly maybe would have came back and beat him, I think, or knocked him out. And they definitely wanted to see a rematch. Now, I think Lennox Lewis is, if not the most underrated heavyweight fighter ever, definitely one of the most underrated. Lennox Lewis belongs in the conversation with all of the greatest heavyweights. He honestly might have been the greatest heavyweight ever. And I know that sounds crazy, maybe, but he beat everybody. And he didn't lose for a long time during the end of his career. Like I said, he beat Klitschko, he beat Evander Holyfield, he beat Tyson, past his prime.
Most people love Tyson.
He beat, I believe it was Razor Ruddock. Riddick Bowe was scared of him. Riddick Bowe threw his WBC belt in the trash rather than to fight Lennox Lewis. Yes, for sure. He beat Holyfield twice, revenged all his losses, beat Tua Morrison. Yeah, I mean, he seriously might have been the greatest. But definitely one of the greatest. He's still training guys now. He's still working out all the time. He's training future champions. He's kind of stays out of the spotlight. A lot of people tried to get into his personal life, kind of speculate that he might be gay. I guess that was something they cared about back then. I think Foreman was up there with him too. Foreman was definitely one of the greatest, yes, and he was undefeated going into that Ali fight. A lot of people think that Foreman smashed Norton and Frazier twice. He hit Frazier with that uppercut so hard he literally lifted him off the ground. And that's another guy Deontay Wilder's shots remind me of. Some of those clubbing shots was some of George Foreman's shots. But yeah, I don't know that anybody was as powerful as George Foreman at his prime. And when he fought Muhammad Ali, only bad thing in George Foreman's record is all he lost. When he fought Muhammad Ali in Zaire, Africa, and that was in his first career, that was his only loss, was the fight against Ali. When he fought Muhammad Ali in Zaire, Africa, a lot of people said that somebody put something in his water bottle that he felt woozy. And I think there might have been something to that, honestly. He went the distance with Holyfield and Morrison over 40 and won the title at 45. Yep, I was watching on the couch at my Uncle Joe's, like a lot of those fights, when he was fighting Michael Moore. And there's my streams for a second again. But yeah, he was fighting Michael Moore, and he was losing not just every round, probably every minute of every round. And in that final round, he lands the right hand that put it away. Stream complete. Oh, looked like I had another little glitch in my internet there. Video output low. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. So sorry about that, guys. Holyfield was definitely one of the greatest too. I mean, and Holyfield, people don't want to give credit to Holyfield for beating Mike Tyson pretty much in his prime, pretty close. When Tyson fought, or when Holyfield fought Tyson, of course, it was coming out of prison. That punch was just amazing. It was just arm power. He didn't use his hips and generated a lot of power. Broke Moore's jaw. Moore was on the ground, blood coming out of his mouth on that right hand, and yeah, he broke his jaw on one shot. 245, 250 pounds of just all of his weight in it. Yeah, everything into it, and just smashed him. So it was almost like a standing hammer fist. But you're right, it didn't have the hips and everything into it, but it just landed, and that's really what made him all his money too, if you think about it. The George Foreman grill had been marketed before. It had been marketed actually and had failed. The idea had failed. And after George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore and became the oldest heavyweight champion ever, at the time the oldest world champion ever, they started selling it as the George Foreman grill. George Foreman made over $300 million off of that grill, just himself. Holyfield was very cool to watch. When he got someone dazed, he would start throwing those small hooks and uppercuts with the little leaps. That guy fought forever, too. He fought to like 50. I mean, he fought James Toney when he was like 48. And finally, he decided he was going to hang it up. Yeah, like 50-something years old, I believe. Foreman was title at 45, while soccer players retired at 30. Yep. You just can't run after 30, man. It's like tennis. Andre Agassi, I think, played to like 30 or 31, and he was considered super old.
I understand the theoretical argument that it's the state that surveillance.
When you have to run that much, when you just have to land one shot, they say the power's the last thing that goes. Speed's the first thing that goes. Power's the last thing that goes. That's why even in boxing and MMA, you see heavyweights continue to be successful in an older age. You don't see as many of the lighter weights. You see the lighter weights more dominated by younger guys. And the fights between Holyfield and the tall Russian. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of who it is. Because Holyfield never fought. I don't think he ever fought either one of the Klitschkos. I know his fight against Hasim Rahman, he caught him with a headbutt. It was the worst swelling on an eye I'd ever seen. It looked like he got hit with a sledgehammer. That was my one bit knock on Holyfield, was he led with his head a lot. But also, you want to see a great trilogy, and watch the Evander Holyfield versus Riddick Bowe trilogy when they were exchanging the heavyweight titles back and forth. It was double size. Oh yeah, for sure. But Riddick Bowe was coming in. He was 250 pounds, and Holyfield was like 210, 215, and he knocked Riddick Bowe down several times. That was a crazy trilogy. You had I think it was the second fight. You had the Fan Man, this guy that was flying on this parachute with a big fan, landed in all these buildings all over the world. He landed in Buckingham Palace, and then he landed in the middle of the ring in, I believe it was Caesar's Palace. I haven't seen those fights yet. You need to look up those fights. I have those on DVD. I have well over 200 DVDs worth of boxing fights. Maybe closer to 500. I don't know. I have so many folders of them, and some of them have 6-8 hours worth of fights that I transferred off VHS tapes. I still have some VHS tapes. I have Manny Pacquiao. Shoot, I'm trying to think. Manny Pacquiao versus Marco Antonio Barrera on VHS somewhere. It was Manny Pacquiao's coming out party kind of. He knocked down Marco Antonio Barrera 3 times in the first round. Yep, he got beat up by the fans. He got bashed with beer bottles. Luckily, I believe he was wearing a helmet, but he got knocked unconscious anyways. And it postponed the fight for like 30-some minutes. So yeah, I don't blame him for being upset. Those guys paid a lot of money to be there too. So but I wonder what the hell ever happened to that guy. I know he got arrested when he landed in Buckingham Palace. I think he landed at the Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely look up the Holyfield Riddick Bowe trilogy. If you can find it online too, look up David Tua versus Ike Abiabuchi. All right, man, I should probably get going too. Thanks, RS. Hey, thanks everybody for a great night. You guys stuck with me for a long time. We're at almost 4 hours on this stream. We're 2 hours earlier. I will be streaming again Thursday, MMA Live at 5 for sure. I don't know if I don't have any plans to stream before then yet. I'm gonna have to see if there's any fights in between, and then of course Saturday on Cinco de Mayo, I'll be doing the Triple G fight. So hey, have a great night, RS. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks again for a fun night of fights, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, man. Later.